Oh, yeah, it's going down right now. The 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast is coming at you live with episode 67, the third annual Christmas extravaganza. I am your host, Moodz, aka the ill-mented funky child. And of course, I've always got my three homies from the mean airways of YouTube. Double Shot J, also known as the godly critical Mexi Tot. NES Ruler 22, also known as the Sandy Vagina. And of course, we've got Shock Extreme 1, also known as Steve, the Arizona Assassin. What's going on, my homies?
What up, ladies and gents?
Damn, that was a hell of an intro.
What's up with the no 616 anymore, dude? Why are you only Moods now? It's like, what the fuck?
Well, I prefer
because that's what says on my license plate. My license plate just says Moods. Yeah. So
616 is like if you get really like in with him, you know. You can't bring out the Mood 616, the whole name. You got to be intimate to have the 616 there.
That's a good way. That is a good way of putting it, man. So yes, first time on the show we've got Shock Extreme 1, also known as Steve. What is going on, brother? How do we know you?
Well, let's see. I think I met JP first from just emailing back and forth on just like. I think the first thing you asked me about was where could I find a bootleg of Halloween 6. Yeah, and it just
I did.
Wow.
And then eventually it went to that one review channel, which ended up pretty bad for all of us.
He's talking about the Fright Tube.
You
said the name.
I always say the name.
Oh, the fucking Fright Tube. There you go. Yeah, we started off on the Fright Tube, and then shit went wrong with that, and eventually we formed the Body Bags channel. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and then through Fright Tube, that's where I also met Moods, and then through Body Bags, that's where I met Jeremy, who covered for me a couple times when either I was sick or just had too much shit on my plate. And then we did the Fright Tube what am I fucking thinking? That's when the shit hit the fan. We did Burial Grounds, and that's when shit hit the fan for all of us. But Burial Grounds was fun. We're hoping to do a reunion episode eventually.
Yeah,
but
that would be cool. For those of you who don't know, Burial Grounds was a live show that we did before that predates the 22 Shots show. 22 Shots kind of spawned out of the end of the Burial Grounds. It's still on YouTube. You can check it out. It's on the 22 Shots website as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where we know the homie. And that show right there was consisting of, Double Shot J, myself, Steve, and Clive Craven.
That was also my 17-year-old self giving spoilers to everything.
Oh, fuck, the fucking spoilers on that show were so funny. It's like, dude, and also the cutoffs. Remember the cutoffs, man?
Oh, that one episode where every single... Because Steve was, like, on a delay, and every time Clive went to talk, Steve would just cut him off. That episode is so funny.
Dude, and then eventually it just became a joke, so then I would just know when the right timing was before he would speak, and I knew that there would be a delay on it, so I just eventually just say random shit.
Did you just lay out a silent fart right there?
No.
You fucking turned your head like you
I was actually burping, but no, I remember Clive getting so pissed off. Like, he was actually legitimately getting pissed off.
Yeah, I actually reckon, like, after the third one, then he started being like, okay, come on, it's not funny anymore.
But those were good times, man, those live chats, because they just went every which way.
A closet.
Yeah, fucking so funny. Well, I'm really excited to have you aboard, Steve. It's been a long time since I've even, chatted with you. We haven't done a Skype session or...
Yeah, Steve has definitely been one of those guys who I've known on YouTube for a long time. Really, when I started, besides Moods, he was like the other guy that I became friends with. So, even though we don't have as much time to chat and communicate and collaborate with each other, I definitely still consider you an awesome friend and stuff, Steve. So I'm glad to finally have you on the show. It only took 66 episodes to get you on here.
And it all started with a bootleg of Halloween 6.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you think about it. That's that long ago, and now that shit is like just ridiculously easy to get.
Yeah, by the way, Blu-ray. For the people that are listening, I wasn't talking about like the regular version of Halloween 6. I already owned that. I was talking about the before you could.
Yeah, I think everyone probably listened.
Yeah, JP, really?
Well, I mean,
no, you were looking for one of those.
People are like, I think you were looking for a bootleg of Halloween 6, the return of Mike Myers.
You would be surprised at the amount of stupid shit people say. So.
Yeah, but that's like super stupid. It's like, I want a bootleg of Halloween 6 where I could go and get it for Echo Bridge for.
This might have been before the Echo Bridges were out, so fuck off.
Okay.
Yeah, and for the people out there that are interested, Steve actually isn't from Arizona. He's actually from New York. I only said he was the Arizona assassin because I couldn't think of anything else off the top of my dome, and that's where he's going to school right now.
New York Ripper. Come on.
The New York Ripper.
I actually said that as a joke to one of my coworkers because he kept calling me frail all the time. So I sent him a picture when I was home at the gym. I just said the New York Ripper returns.
So what are you doing? What are you doing now, Steve? What's going on in life?
Well, I am in school right now. I am about to enter my second semester of my sophomore year of college. It's just been extremely busy studying film, but last semester was more
you've been slaying that
as opposed to actual hands-on film work. Literally just consumed my whole life from doing YouTube and just doing videos of any sort because literally I'd be up until maybe 2 o'clock in the morning on maybe my second assignment when I had maybe 2 more left to go. So I've just been taken away from everything, everything movie reviews or, even just simple vlogs at that. So now since I'm home for the month of December, returning in January, the people will be able to see a lot more footage coming their way. So stay tuned for that.
Sweet. Sounds good, man. Awesome. So how was your trip back home? Good stuff?
The trip back home, it was actually a pretty crappy flight, even though I slept most of the way. It was like an hour delay from people coming from Boston. They had to clean up everything, and it was. So
is that the route you take? You fly from Phoenix to Boston to?
No. There's an option where you could fly from Phoenix to Boston and then take a plane to New York, but I just do a straight shot from Phoenix to JFK.
Oh, to JFK. Okay. So how long of a flight is that?
From Boston to Phoenix.
Okay.
But they took like an hour delay trying to clean up everything, and people brought like 3 carry-on bags, so everybody got screwed up with.
What airline were you flying with?
JetBlue.
Fuck, they allow 3 carry-ons? That's ridiculous,
apparently
man.
People thought that was allowed.
No, that is not fucking allowed.
Bags of, just like hair dryers and God what.
That's ridiculous, man. How long of a flight is that from Phoenix to JFK?
It's actually shorter going from Phoenix Sky Harbor to New York JFK. It's like a 4.5 hour flight. But if you want to go from JFK to Phoenix, it's like a 5.5 hour flight, maybe because of time difference. I don't know.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Cool stuff. And you were flying JetBlue?
JetBlue. My TV didn't even work on it.
Sounds quality, man.
For the first
4.5 hour flight and you got no fucking TV.
Work on my seat, out of all seats.
That's happened to me so many times too.
I actually walked up to take a piss and I was just like kind of casually looking to see whose TV wasn't working. Every other TV was working except for mine.
I hate that shit, man. That's totally happened to me before too, man. And of course your TV's not working and you got like the little infant baby next to you that's crying the entire fucking flight.
No, actually, surprisingly, I was sitting next to a pretty nice woman that was just like smiling at me every time like people were arguing about having to get their bags checked or whatever. We just made jokes back and forth to everybody. So she was chill. I actually got a decent companion for the first time.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So you're back in New York and glad to be home, I'm assuming.
Oh, very glad to be home.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Awesome stuff. But yeah, really, really happy to have you on the show. JP, Jeremy, what has been going on this week? What's new in your guys' busy lives?
Before I tell you what's been going on in my hectic life, I do want to make this simple announcement that we'll make again and again as the weeks progress, but essentially we're going to be switching iTunes feeds, and that is very important for the people who subscribe to us through iTunes, because that means that you will actually have to resubscribe to a different feed. You will not get the episodes in your feed anymore. You're going to have to resubscribe. So that the feed is not up yet, the new one, but keep paying attention for when we say that it goes up, because you'll have to switch over. Our episodes will no longer, we're leaving Podomatic. We're no longer going to be working through that feed. And unfortunately, the tech shit that goes involved in switching feeds is insane. It's like that's why people hire people to do this shit, because you have to know a lot about it. It's like essentially you get to the point where you're writing code almost, which I don't know how to do, and F all that.
And it's not like we just have like a little catalog. We got 66. Well, I guess there'll be 67 episodes that are going to be on there, right?
Well, by the time
transferring over, and I mean, and these aren't just short episodes, so it's a lot of fucking work. But
so that means that whenever this new feed comes up, guys, the cool thing is, and we've been getting this for a long time. Everybody says all the time, why can't I get past episode this on iTunes? Like I don't listen to it on YouTube. I listen to it in my car. Why can't I? Get episode 5? Why can't I get episode 10? Why does it only have episode 50 to 66? And it's because of the service we was using. It costs so much money to store files. The good news now is that when we do switch feeds, we will have all of our episodes on iTunes. So people will finally be able to be happy about that. Go back and listen to the past catalog, and it'll happen within the next few weeks, potentially. By the time the end of the year show is out, the feed will be changed, and we'll make another announcement then. But really excited for this. I know that that's one of the number one questions we usually get about the show, technically wise, is why is there not more episodes on iTunes?
Where the fuck are the back catalog? I want to listen to these back catalog episodes, and I tell people sometimes, I'm like, you know what, man, they're not really there for a good reason.
Yeah,
we sounded like shit. And Jeremy used to host, so they were terrible.
Oh,
I'm just fucking kidding. No, but that's honestly the reason, is because they just didn't fit. So
yeah,
that's the honest answer. So the first thing you peeps out there need to do is listen to this episode. So that's a heads up. We will, like JP said, we will keep you, in the know. So,
and if you want to keep searching it, it'll be 22 Shots Podcast. Or 22 Shots of Moodz, or it'll be something very similar. You'll find it when you see it. As long as you just type in our thing once it pops up, we'll make an announcement on the Facebook page when it's out, and then on the next episode as well. So just keep that in mind, guys. We look forward to having everybody keep following the show through that way as well, because
hopefully we don't lose too many people. I mean, you're always going to lose people that are just being like, I'm not going over, that's too much work, I'm not going over there and click and subscribe over here. Fucking, that's a lot of work, man.
Oh yeah, you're telling me.
Exactly right. So Jeremy, what's new? You got any good tidbits for us?
Good tidbits? Tipilations?
Yeah, what's going on?
Nothing. I just finished school. I'm done.
Whoa,
so,
hold on.
So are you officially done?
Deal.
Like exams, everything? Like
yeah, done.
So
like a chow.
So you got a big boner right now, don't you?
Big boner, just erect out of my pants. But
extra sandy.
Man.
Too bad I actually don't have a boner.
Extra sandy.
Yeah, I actually have a vagina.
Do you get your marks and stuff already?
I mean, my penile implant is shooting out of my pants and shooting sand that was already left over from my sandy vagina everywhere.
Ugh, that sounds terrible, man. So do you have exams to write, or are you just like done?
I'm done. That was last week.
Really? You didn't say anything about writing exams.
Writing exams? Well, I wrote a piece on fucking cult horror films that...
Yeah, when's that come out?
Oh, that's cool, though. That's cool.
Yeah, that was fun. I don't know when it's coming.
Whatever happened to my
when
fucking interview that you were supposed to do for me?
What happened to your interview?
Yeah.
Well,
Mine
let's
was
see.
Good enough, and you didn't need yours.
I got you, and I got
Who doesn't want to interview
and I got
the
Brandon,
MOO?
And I was supposed to get somebody from Wild Eye, but I'm not going to bash Wild Eye, but...
he canceled on you.
Yeah. No, he didn't cancel on me. He's like,
still did try to track me down.
He said, I'm on set.
Dick.
I'll email you tomorrow.
And he didn't.
And he never responded.
Well, maybe he got...
I honestly am a little bit hurt because I was looking forward to that interview.
It was fun. I had fun with it.
I got all dressed up, did my hair. I was getting all formal for it.
Yeah, it's not video, dude.
What's that?
It's not video.
No, I was just playing the part.
Oh, you're just getting in the mood. I get it.
I had to play the part. I had to be all professional and stuff. And unlike how I look right now, I'm fucking sick.
I just walked off the street and nailed it. So.
Yeah, JP nailed it. He was like a huge part.
Really?
Yeah.
Of the piece. Well, yeah, because.
But you never did answer the question. Why didn't you hunt me down?
Because I interviewed JP, I interviewed Derek, I interviewed Brandon, I interviewed James from Vinegar Syndrome, I interviewed Nico from Cult Epics, I interviewed Lewis from Massacre Video,
yeah, that's
and
cool.
I couldn't include everybody.
Yeah, Lewis is a cool guy. He's an interesting dude. I've every time I go to both times I've been to Wasteland, I've talked to him quite a few times. He's an interesting cat, man. He's a really interesting cat. He was telling me one time that he has over 10,000 VHS. I was like, damn, dude.
When I emailed him, I was like,
fucking lot.
When I emailed him, I was like, I'm not a stupid reporter who doesn't know anything about what I'm talking about. I've been to Wasteland freaking with Moodz. You probably fucking don't remember me, but I was there, so I'm not some ignorant asshole who doesn't know what he's talking about. So that
was actually really funny. Remember when we first met, Lewis?
Yeah.
That was actually really funny. He recognized me from YouTube, and he's like, hey, I know you. He's like, oh, yeah, you're the guy that didn't like Snuff 102.
A similar thing happened to me at Monster Mania this year when I went to the alternative cinema booth, because the first thing I reviewed for them was Homicycle, and I just walk up to them, and Scott Weekend Fright was there with me, and he was asking me about it, and then the guy from behind the counter is just like, yeah, man, what were your thoughts? I would love to hear your thoughts. I'm just like, oh, shit. I'm just like, and he's
Homicycle really that bad?
You can't love them all, man. You can't love them all.
No, man, I would literally tell him. I would literally say to the guy, "Your movie sucks," right to his face.
I felt like I was just thrown under the bus right there, but no, he was a cool guy. Everybody from the K Motion Pictures booth was awesome.
I'm sorry, if your movie sucks, I'm not going to say it's good just because you're standing in front of me.
Well, he had Scare Waves right next to it, and I'm like, that one was friggin' awesome, man.
What's he going to do, punch me in the face because I say his movie sucks?
Maybe.
Well, fuck him then.
Nah, you can't get that butthurt over that shit. But Homicycle
If Jeremy walked up to me out of nowhere and was like,
I felt so bad during that review. Bro. I hate giving bad reviews, but I have to.
Dude, you fucking said freaking Mutantis fucking sucks right to the filmmakers.
It did, though.
Okay,
so but I'm saying,
oh my God,
I don't want somebody to say it to my face all like a dick. If you're gonna come up and be a dick, you can tell me it sucks without being a dick.
If the guy said what you think about it, I'm gonna say it sucked.
Yeah,
I love that story. I sent a fucking screenshot of this conversation I was having with the director of Mutantis, and I fucking sent it to JP, and he's like, "Who's this?" And I'm like, "It's the director of Mutantis," and he goes, "Oh shit."
Because I would have got serious where I was like, I feel like this degrades film. Like, I feel like this ruins the genre.
Dude, it was probably the worst bash I've ever heard you say about a film. Like, honestly, that was the worst things I've ever heard you say about a film.
Classic. It's cool because we have had a few directors.
In the beginning, if like there was a problem with my DVD, or if they were just doing the dubbing like on purpose.
Yeah,
you probably won't like Trashology very much then, JP. But I fucking love Trashology. That movie's
that's great.
Trashology is super fun.
It's so funny.
I'm glad that those movies got a wider release so people can actually check them out. Because I know I talked about them a few times, and no one like, what the fuck's Trashology? Man? Like, no one's gonna take my recommendations. They're like, that's some low budget shit right there.
Yeah, I actually sitting there and I see
Jesus Turan from Slasher at Mad Monster in Phoenix in May, and he told me he just probably most likely gonna be re-releasing. I know he re-released the Death Nurse films on DVD once again, but he said he's going to be doing so much more stuff that fans of Slasher would probably be blown away at seeing them come to DVD or Blu-ray.
Speaking about another asshole who never fucking emailed me back after you promised me.
Who, Jesus Turan?
Yeah, I'll email you. I got it. Douchebag never emailed me back.
Jamie's taking it all personal and shit.
I ain't taking it personal, but
oh, guys,
don't tell me you're gonna email me back and then fucking rate me in the bum and not email me back.
Speaking of directors,
I wanted to fucking talk to that guy, man.
Speaking of directors and stuff who have like heard our reviews, I think like the Dead Shadows guy did. There was a few other ones. It's always cool when that happens, but I forgot to tell you guys that your Bertkerite, the necromantic guy, he tweeted out one of our reviews one day or something.
No.
Or he shared it or something. It was
not Turtoadsking.
I can't remember. It might have been Necromantic 2 or Turtoadsking.
Oh man,
Well, even if it was Necromantic 1 or 2, like we gave him good reviews.
I think you guys forget that I've gave all three movies a good review. Like you guys didn't like that.
Turtoadsking, I like the whole the premise was good and stuff. I just overall wasn't my type of thing, I guess.
I got that on Blu-ray. I still need to watch that eventually.
Yeah.
Nico was a cool ass guy, man. He was a cool cat.
Steve, have you ever seen the Nick Phillips films, Satan's Black Wedding and like Critically Insane and stuff?
I've seen bits of them only from the Cinema Snobs reviews. And I mean, of course, I've seen bits of them because those bits also appeared in the Death Nurse films as stock footage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyways, I just got this double feature in from Retro Shock, Shockorama, and I was checking out like Satan's Black Wedding, Criminally Insane, and it actually has part 2 on it also. Do you own this?
I do not. I've been wanting to get that for a while.
Dude, these movies are super short, man. So there's 3 films on here, and like all 3 films are like an hour long. So if you've seen clips, you've pretty much seen it all.
Well, I mean, Nick Phillips has always used stock footage from either the Death Nurse films or Cemetery Sisters from Bad Apple or Satan's Blade and put them in the movies just to exceed the runtime. It's not even a long runtime, but...
Yeah. So you did Cemetery Sisters and Death Nurse 1 and 2 in these 3 films, and I don't know. He's a pretty interesting filmmaker. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, these movies, just like, I don't know what they were shot on, probably like 8mm or something.
It looked like 8mm film
from the set. Like, these were all like 1975, and then the sequel of Criminally Insane came out in 87, something like that. It's really
that's
strange.
Also known as Crazy Fat Ethel.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like shot on video, so he went from like 8mm to shot on video. Pretty cool. Definitely not JP's and Jeremy's type of stuff.
Cemetery Sisters was fucking awful, man.
No. But I was just blown away by like Satan's Black Wedding. It's too bad that this movie wasn't developed into a full film, because it's an hour long and it just kind of gets into it. There's really nothing going on, kind of thing. And I think it has a lot of potential to be a decent film. It's kind of a shame, but I was enjoying it. But yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Nick Phillips, man. I wish he'd have done more stuff, to be honest.
Well, it's surprising because when it was first put out on VHS, he went under the name Nick Phillips, and I guess when Slasher put them out on DVD and Blu-ray, he went under Nick Millard.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Well, it doesn't really make sense, but, these guys are always with their fucking alternate names and shit like that.
Alternate names, stock footage. It's a
stock footage always kills me, man. I just, oh my God. Like, considering how short these movies are, to use stock footage is like the funniest shit, though, right?
Because like, first time watching Cemetery Sisters, I knew it was made by the same guy who did Death Nurse. So the whole film, I'm like, okay, no stock footage, please, no stock footage.
Oh, Las Vegas signs.
Oh my God, they did the stock footage.
Las Vegas signs all over Cemetery Sisters.
Yeah.
Fuck, that movie's so fucking boring. It sucks, that movie.
I actually thought it was decent for the most part.
Really? All it is
it's okay. I don't mind it. Honestly, yeah.
It's like get married, kill somebody, get married, kill somebody, get married, kill somebody, open up a fucking mortuary at the end.
Whatever. Low budget filmmaking, man. What do you expect?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Movies like Trashology, or Cinco de Mayo, which have no money and they're fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that they're all going to be great, or bad or whatever, but anyways, Jeremy, do we got some news?
Wait, hold up. What the fuck about JP?
What do you mean?
What? Ask what JP was up to.
Pretty much the same shit.
That's boring.
He never did answer, did he?
You gotta do something.
I'm having car issues again, and I'm like, don't even want to talk about it.
Got so sidetracked on the Nick Phillips stuff that I forgot that JP didn't even answer. He's all bummed out because his fucking cars are always shit in the bed.
Mm-hmm. Well, he is Mexican, so.
I have no idea what that has to do with.
Yeah, what? That's completely irrelevant.
I know, but I have to throw it in.
He's just throwing racial jabs at you for no reason now. He's like, you know what? His car broke down because he's Mexican.
Yeah, because he's Mexican.
Makes absolutely no sense.
His dog died. Well, it's obviously because he's Mexican.
Every time I listen to the show, every time you point out the Mexican jokes, something always comes to me where I just say half Mexican.
That is true.
Half breed, yeah.
Half. So everything is half the cause.
Interracial.
Half Mexican.
Half the cause.
Nice. All right, Jeremy, let's get into this news, bud.
Oh boy. Oh man. I apologize if I fucked this shit up, but JP is a lazy motherfucker.
No, see, now, when you instantly apologize, like, you shouldn't do that, because you're setting yourself... You're basically...
Well, no.
It's a cop-out. It's a cop-out.
Have a little more confidence, buddy. Come on, just spit the news out.
All right.
If you do it and fail, then that's what happens. But because you try to, like, cushion the blow of you failing, then it's pussy. It's a pussy move.
So you already know I'm going to fail, so you're like, you're going to fail, so you're just going to...
You do that all the time with everything. Stop it.
Right. Fuck you. All
right, don't be nervous. Come on.
All right. So, the director's cut of Exorcist 3 is coming to Blu-ray. What do you guys think about this?
Who's putting it out? Warner Brothers? Who owns it?
I don't know, but it's owned by the same people. It's owned by Morgan Creek, who fucking Nightbreed. So I assume Scream Factory, but I highly doubt that because first will release it.
Whose dog is that?
Those are my stupid dogs.
Come on, Steve.
They never shut up.
Fucking my train of thought. But I would assume it's Scream Factory of more.
What?
What?
What are you talking about?
What am I talking about?
Exorcist 3? No, it's
spitting out nonsense right now.
Warner Brothers.
It's Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Scream Factory. Where the hell did this come from?
Where did this come from? Because fucking Morgan Creek fucking owns the freaking rights to it.
Dave?
So who is Morgan Creek?
I don't know. They fucking own the rights to Nightbreed too. Morgan Creek are the ones who own the rights to Nightbreed, and they're the ones that fucking helped Scream Factory restore it. And Morgan Creek owns the negatives to fucking Exorcist 3 too.
Oh. Okay. So the director's cut now, is that a is that
I'm confused.
Is the director's cut like a completely different movie like Nightbreed was? Is that why this is such a big deal?
Well, I guess when it got released, it got cut to shit, and William Peter Blatty, the guy who directed it, was really pissed off about it because a lot of footage was lost, or seemed to be lost, just like the Nightbreed stuff, and I guess they found it, and they were restoring it on Blu-ray in a collector's edition, which is why I thought that it said, maybe it would be fucking Scream Factory, because it says right here, a feature-packed collector's edition, although if one had to guess by the stark honesty from Blatty and Morgan Creek, perhaps a formal announcement on or around Christmas might be a safe bet. In any case, for a climate where lost footage could truly sometimes be lost, the revival of film culture and collectors' markets, this would have been good for my piece, have helped make miracles for horror films, especially in a case where elements have been lost for 25 years, such as The Exorcist 3. And then it says, it will be a Region A release that will consecutively happen in 2016 from a proven U.S. specialty distributor. However, after some digging on this writer part, no one has come to claim responsibility for the release just yet. Perhaps the I's haven't been dotted nor the T's crossed, but more than likely a release like this might be kept on the hush-hush until a more appropriate occasion calls for it.
So it actually technically hasn't been announced who's releasing it, so.
Prime suspects include Scream Factory, who previously worked with Morgan Creek to release Nightbreed, the director's cut. Keep an eye out for more on Exorcist 3, the director's cut, when it comes available on FanClub.
Well, you know what? Who did own the original cut of Exorcist, Nightbreed? Was it Fox?
Of Nightbreed?
Yeah.
Maybe 20th Century.
Yeah, it was 20th Century.
No, it was Warner Brothers, wasn't it?
Well, I know Warner Brothers released like the Snapper Case DVD.
Well, Fox owns.
They'd archived it too, though. Because remember, Nightbreed, after the Snapper Case went out of print, they archived it, and you could get it through the Burn on Demand through Warner Brothers. I thought they still owned it up until. That's strange.
Well, I will say that it looks like Fox owns Exorcist 3.
Fox does, okay.
Now, it is interesting that is a Scream Nightbreed is Fox as well. Yeah, so
really?
That makes sense actually, because Scream Factory has been able to grab some Fox stuff, including the theatrical version of Nightbreed, which came with the box set, the Super Edition.
And it's Morgan Creek who fucking released Nightbreed.
Interesting.
So would you guys?
Cool.
Well, of course you guys would buy. Would you guys buy it anyway, even if it wasn't Scream Factory?
Of course I would buy it. It's an addition. It's a cut of a film that's never been released. That's fucking wet whistle.
Exorcist 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. I totally want to see that director's cut. I've read about it. The horror stories of it for years. That,
it's kind of like an interesting story.
Yeah, because it always was known to be that the footage was gone. Never gonna find it. So this is pretty interesting that they found it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
That's really exciting for horror fans. Like, holy fuck it, it's found.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for like lost horror stuff.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see like, how did they find it? Like a commentary track or something. It'd be interesting. A featurette to see how they found this stuff and how they cleaned it up and how it came to be. I think
I would literally love to see a feature of them. You know, I'd love to watch a feature of them actually doing the transfer. You know, like how they do it and stuff.
Well, James, when I talked to Vinegar Syndrome, he told me a whole bunch of stuff, like how they have to first like scan the print and then they clean it up. And
Vinegar Syndrome has actually released videos on that stuff before. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit, but you know, I'd like to go into it more. I've always been kind of fascinated by how they do some of these transfers, because like if you've ever watched like Grindhouse, you know, versions of films, and you see like a new HD transfer, and you're like, well, how the fuck, man? Like some of these transfers look like they were shot like that. It's crazy. So I always find it just intriguing. I like the tech aspect of things like that. So kind of cool. Yeah.
All right. Good job.
All right. Next, Bad Robot and Don Coscarelli. I'm gonna fuck up the name.
Coscarelli.
Right? Oh, it's close
Coscarelli. Enough. You can just say Cos. That's what I say.
All right. Team up for 4K restoration of Phantasm. So, Bad Robot, J.J. Abrams' production company, if that's what you want to call it. I guess is teaming up with Don Coscarelli, whose print of Phantasm. He has like the only, 35 millimeter print of it. It's like his own print, and I guess he's retiring or whatever the fuck that means. And I guess he's never going to show it again, which is like, well, that's fucked up. But I guess.
Is it a print or is it an original like negative type thing?
I think it's just a print. Which I don't know who has
Phantasm? I thought it was like original negatives.
Oh, maybe, but it says
I could have read that.
Coscarelli was retiring his personal 35 millimeter print of his favorite Phantasm.
I thought that he had the original negative. That's interesting.
I think he has the maybe I don't know. Maybe they worded it funny or something, but
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I do know that Coscarelli did keep like all those snippets of footage that are in Phantasm 4 as well from the original Phantasm. Like that's all his personal stuff. Like he's always kept all that shit, and that's what's really cool about Don Coscarelli. And dude, when this came out, I was like, okay, step 1 complete. Now we just have the other steps of getting new transfers for Phantasm 3, 4, and Ravager being released, and hopefully they make some kind of super mega edition. And it would probably be the greatest release of the year.
Yeah, I guess.
Make it in sphere, man.
Phantasm of films whose prints have become decidedly difficult to find in its native format. So I guess there's not too many 35 millimeter prints of I've never seen it. You know me, I've seen a bunch of stuff.
I've seen Phantasm.
35 millimeter?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. Something I haven't seen. But blah, blah, blah. J.J. Abrams and his production company, Bad Robot, is teamed with Don Coscarelli on a 4K restoration. Transferred from the original camera negative, this secret restoration has been in the works for quite some time now. Wow. So much so that Coscarelli's attention from Ravager for the time being. However, with Ravager well into post-production and the revelation of the 4K transfer, one could certainly hope that 2016 will be the year that the horror community gets both highly anticipated releases. However, with this knowledge, the question remains who will be releasing the films, and could a high-definition, complete collection set be in the cards?
Please, God. If there is a God, that would happen.
Mm-hmm. I just find it interesting that fucking J.J. Abrams, out of anybody, goes ahead.
I was wondering.
Dude, I almost fell off my chair when I read that. I was like, what?
Maybe J.J. Abrams is like a giant Phantasm fan, which wouldn't surprise me considering what he
is a huge fan of him.
Good.
Yeah, he totally. I read that, so I was like, "That's really interesting." Just because you do certain films doesn't mean you can't like other genres, right? It's
I think Angus Scrimm was in one of his films. Actually.
Yeah, didn't he name one of his characters after like Phantasm stuff or something?
Yeah,
too?
yeah. I think he named him Fam or something. But
yeah,
well, this is probably going to be really quality shit, man. I mean, if this guy's working on it and he's a fan, he's going to do this shit justice, man. I'm really fucking excited for this.
Yeah. As you guys know, Phantasm is literally one of my favorite horror films. Definitely top 10.
Me too, man. It's right there too.
Phantasm, oh, dude. If you like, Phantasm to me is just one of those. This whole series is something that I can literally watch like at any time. And ever since we did the Phantasm show way back in episode 8,
damn, dude, that's really good that you remember that.
I've always thought if they do, I remember talking about if they do another Phantasm film, and we was like, yeah, I doubt it, but it'd be cool, blah blah blah. And now that there is one, I think when it eventually does come out, it'll be a time to return to that series and at least cover the 5th one as a main episode. I think that's only fitting.
Hell to the yes. I totally agree. Love that franchise so much. I know that you like part 2 more, but man, part 1.
It's kind of back and forth nowadays.
You know, I always say that Phantasm, the original film, and the entire franchise is like no other films.
It's true.
It just sits by itself. That's why it's so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love them, man. The feel of that Phantasm film is just beyond strange, for a lack of a better word, but I love it, man. I can't wait for this transfer and the features and
yes,
boner.
Think about if Arrow picks it up and does what they did with fucking Hellraiser. That'd be freaking amazing.
Well, speaking of that, because I don't know if I brought this up on the podcast, but I watch a lot of videos, and I was really curious on the whole Scarlet box set that Arrow had released of the first 3 Hellraiser films, and a lot of people were showing it off, unboxing and stuff, and it seemed like everybody that showed it off hadn't watched the films. Except for I clicked on this. Well, no, hadn't watched the new transfers.
The new transfers, yeah.
So, anyways, I'm searching around. I'm like trying to find someone that's going to talk about these transfers, and I came across a video, and this one specific guy, and he goes, "Man, this box." He went through everything. He's like, "It's such a beautiful set. Everything, the book, blah blah blah," and he goes, "My main problem is," he goes, "the transfer on Hellraiser is junk." And I was like, crazy. He's like, "It's so grainy and shitty looking." He's like, "The American Anchor Bay Blu-ray looks better."
Ooh, that's not saying much.
And I was like, holy crap. And he said part 2 and 3 look great. He said part 3 looks the best.
Didn't Image release a Blu-ray too?
They re-released it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Part 2.
To be honest, I have the Anchor Bay Hellraiser Blu-ray. I don't think it looks that bad.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it doesn't look good at all.
It doesn't look good?
It didn't look good to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the worst thing I've ever seen, but if he's saying it looks worse, and I'm like, holy man, like...
Yeah, how could anything look worse?
I mean, I've seen worse transfers.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just don't know how like a film like Hellraiser could even have a bad transfer. Like you would think they would just like it would have been like, it's a film that is popular enough to be taken care of over the years.
That's what I thought too. I was very surprised to hear that film didn't look very good. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I've been wanting to watch Hellraiser so bad lately.
I watched Hellraiser 1 and 2 about 6 months ago again. Those are good films.
Yeah. So, Jeremy,
franchise sometime, man. Are we gonna punish ourselves and do all 9 films?
Yeah, of course we are. That's one of my. It was that we almost did Hellraiser over Children of the Corn.
Well, if you guys want to hear that, listeners out there, leave comments, voicemails, blah blah blah. Maybe, who knows, that might even be the next major franchise we do, because we don't have
one planned. We don't have any shows planned after this one.
To be honest, the one I really want to do
is the Howling.
Is the Howling. Yeah. I really want to.
I'm down with that one too.
The Howling's an interesting franchise because there's films all over the place, man. There's like part 3 was an Australian film, and then 4, 5, and 6 are like a different trilogy, and then part 7 was like an Italian shitty film, and
then there's like a reboot.
I think there's a lot to say. Yeah, and then there's the Howling Reborn one. It's an interesting franchise. I think there'd be a lot of interesting conversations about that. So
let us
especially
know
part
what
2.
the next franchise you want us to do is. Don't say TCM, Friday the 13th, or Elm Street, or Psycho.
Yeah, those ones
are automatically eventually going to be done.
I mean, we're trying to get the other ones done, which we've accomplished so far. I mean,
you can't blow your wad, right? You can't get all the good ones done right away, because then you have nothing to look forward to.
We're definitely like probably the first cast to do the Children of the Corn franchise. We did it. We dared it, and someone dared us.
We're probably definitely the only podcast to do the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise, the Leprechaun franchise, and the Children of the Corn franchise.
Yeah, we like punishment, man.
And Warlock.
Oh, and
nobody's done Warlock. I've never. You know what's kind of funny?
We just named off like 95% of our Hall of Pain right there.
Well, we definitely will have a new entry today.
Foreshadowing, Jeremy. What is also going on in the news?
All right, so
foreskinning.
Come on, man. When people are gonna fucking read Jack Frost 2 on the page, how can you not think that's gonna be a Hall of Painter? But anyway, we'll get into it later. So, as you guys know, The Mummy is getting remade. Same with The Wolfman. Universal is rebooting both of these films, and they now have announced that they will be remaking Bride of Frankenstein. And David Cope, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he's writing the script, and he's the one who wrote Stir of Echoes and Secret Window and Jurassic Park and some other movies. So
didn't Stephen King write fucking Secret Window too?
Yeah,
but
he
did a screenplay.
Yeah, but he adapted
of Wolfman. Fuck.
Yeah,
I honestly just don't even care. Like,
Man, the last one that came out a few years ago with fucking, what was it, Anthony Hopkins, and I don't know. Man, that movie was terrible.
Listen, I'm watching.
I really did not care for that.
From somebody who literally just watched all these films, they're not gonna work today, dude. They're just not.
Mhm.
They're just not gonna work today.
Well, that's the thing with the Wolfman one. It's just like a bunch of, they change around the story and stuff, but it was the CG, and it's over stylized. That's what it appears to me when I watch it. Have you seen that? Have you seen that remake, Steve?
I have. It didn't work for me at all.
Oh, I hated it, dude. I walked out of the theater and I fucking screamed. I was like, that's bullshit. And
No!
I went up and I said, either I want my money back or you guys give me some fucking Skittles. Give me something
And they
back.
gave you
I
some
need something in
Skittles.
return. And the fuckers actually gave me Skittles. It was funny.
Those
No,
Skittles
they didn't.
probably rivaled what it cost to get in. So
Oh, probably. But man, dude, I have such a bad streak with, going to the cinema and watching films in there. It seems like the majority of the stuff I watch, I hate. So, always paying money for nothing.
yeah, I know what you mean. Honestly, to me, it's like they do they did like the Mummy type remake. They've done a million Frankensteins and stuff, but and they did. To me, it's just like that's all you're gonna end up getting out of those films because you can't. I don't know if you can play the Wolfman straight serious and have him like look like the way that the bipedal like wolf did in the original film, like the man. Like it's just gonna look cheesy. So you're gonna have to go like more animalistic, or like I don't really know how you do it and not make it look cheesy and have it still be scary, or you could do it action wise like they have done with Van Helsing and the Mummy, and now they're doing with whatever. I just don't know how you make them come off appropriately.
Well, you don't make them like that. The Mummy and Van Helsing and ugh.
Well, now you guys are gonna fucking have.
But Bride of Frankenstein. I'm really actually surprised it took this long to redo that one. Considering all things, they've done everything else, and that one's so popular among fans. Most people prefer that over the original Frankenstein, which I am not one of them. But,
I prefer the third one over all of them.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Which I think, right? The son of Frankenstein?
Yeah, man.
Pretty sure, yeah.
That's the thing about the Frankenstein franchise is that there's a lot of good sequels in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's
They're all good.
I know, like, that franchise is actually really solid. So, good stuff. Good stuff.
I'll tell you what franchise isn't solid. It's the Mummy franchise.
It's the same movie over and over again.
Literally.
Yeah. I think, JP, I think what happens when you watch those movies so close together, it's just,
Oh,
it's like
yeah,
you flooded
for
yourself
sure.
with the same shit. And it's like, I think if you watch those movies, one year, 6 months later and stuff, you'd be like, it's not bad. It's not the best, but
you might
have a different opinion.
You know how all of the monsters are, the Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Mummy, shit like that. I honestly think the best monster, probably, in my opinion, my favorite, is actually a side monster, which is Igor from Son of Frankenstein. Bela Lugosi, man. Fucking creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, I am a sucker for Bela Lugosi.
Me too, man.
Parloff does not deserve to smell my shit.
All right, so Jimmy, what else we got?
All right, got another Scream Factory announcement here. We have, I think it's Universal. So we have another Universal film coming out from Scream Factory, and that is
It. Shit.
Shit.
We got coming out.
Which we were talking pregame about this. I'm actually a little excited for this because, I have it on one of those shitty 4-packs, and me and JP were talking about how they've actually, Scream Factory's released the other 3 in that 4-pack. And what were they again? The Funhouse, Phantasm 2,
and Serpent in the Rainbow.
So yeah, so this is getting the Blu-ray treatment from SF. So yeah, I'm cool with it. I actually like this film.
Yeah, me too. I always, anytime I talk about this film, I talk about Curse of Puppet Master because it's the same movie. Literally,
yeah, I know, right?
It literally is. Like, I think people think I'm joking. Like, it's literally the same movie except for a snake. It's a puppet.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and what is that, part 5?
No, it's 6.
6. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it's like the Hellraiser sequels. I get them the order all fucked up. Puppet Master films, but yeah, so that's like a really big ripoff of.
Yes, this is awesome.
I gotta say, it's probably my least favorite horror film title to say
Yeah, because you don't really know how. Like, you sound like an idiot, and then like you don't want to just say SSSSS, or you don't want to say it like that's.
Well, that just sounds annoying. It sounds like you got to stutter.
Like, there's no real way to say it without sounding like a douchebag.
No,
but 1973, I remember this is one of those films where I'm flipping channels as a kid, and I pop on it, and I really like dig it. Like, I'm just like, this is cool. It's like 70s. It's old. It's definitely a B movie, and it's just one that I remember liking when I was a kid. So, and then I seen Puppet Master, Curse of Puppet Master, and I was like, I definitely had seen this movie before. But then I realized I just was thinking of.
Yeah,
it's not your traditional like killer animal film like a lot of people think it is who haven't seen it.
No, it's more of like a mad scientist film.
Oh, definitely a mad scientist film.
Yeah.
So. I like how Scream Factory in their whole post they're like surprise title.
I know.
If you and it's like we have no further details this time.
Oh god.
Jeez. Okay, what else do we have?
All right. So Deathgasm Part 2 Goremageddon announced and screenplay is completed. So this year, Deathgasm a huge buzz in the community, and according to the filmmaker, that the screenplay has been written in full and is promising more gore in the first 10 minutes than the entire first Deathgasm. While there's no official announcement for filming or any cast confirmations, Deathgasm has been one of the most buzzed about horror titles of the year, slaying audience at several film festivals with bloody metal-infused insanity. DVD, Blu-ray stateside from Dark Sky Films in 3 weeks, which I will be reviewing for them, and yeah.
More gore in the first 10 minutes of the entire first film.
Yeah.
Really? Man, and that was one thing I actually just stated too, that I recently watched Deathgasm, and I thought the gore was fucking great. They did a great job in that movie, and there's quite a bit. Like the third act has a shitload of gore, so this is intriguing to me. They're gonna go Dead Alive style, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing, man.
I mean, the first 10 minutes is gonna be like a homage to Dead Alive. They're gonna have fucking lawnmowers, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm excited for this, man. I'm
actually really excited for it too. I think there's a lot of potential in a sequel. I really liked the first film a lot. I believe it was my pick of the week.
Honestly, I loved the way Deathgasm ended, like the very last scene.
Yeah.
It made me laugh. I was like, that's fucking awesome.
I think that the characters were genuinely likable too.
Yeah, and the blonde chick in that movie? Oh. She was awesome, man. Super hot.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming everyone's coming back too for it. I didn't really look at the cast, but
yeah, I think so. Brody reminded me of somebody. Was he in anything else that I know? Blood Punch. He's in Blood Punch. That's who he reminded me of.
Hell yeah, Blood Punch.
Blood Punch. Awesome flick.
The lead guy, Brody, was in Blood Punch.
That's right.
I was like, this guy looks like somebody I know, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fucking cool, man.
All right.
Steve, have you seen Deathgasm?
I have not.
Oh God, you need
to
see it.
That is one that is going to be going on the list, though.
Oh, you got to see it, man. It's really good. Really good stuff.
It is good.
Ever since this whole semester, my list has just grown farther and farther.
Me too.
Yeah. I managed to plunge through about 130 2015 films.
I'm close to 50.
I'm done. I think I'm done for the year. Like, there's really nothing else I need to see, so. But a lot of bad ones. A lot of shit I fucking watched this year, man. Oh my God. I know Jeremy can vouch for Inner Demons. Oof.
Oh
my God, that's a raging piece of shit.
Not the worst film of the year, though.
No, dude, I watched some ones, like 1 and 1.5s, man.
That goes to All Hallows Eve too. But let's see.
Next, I didn't see that one.
Next, we have The Martyrs remake hitting DVD and Blu-ray and on demand on February 2nd. Mm-hmm. So if you guys want to see this film, which is probably going to be crap, I'm not going to make my judgment until I watch it, because I am such a huge fan of the original. So we'll see.
I still am waiting to see the original before I actually watch this.
I'm sorry, what was this?
Martyrs. Released on DVD.
Oh, Martyrs.
And on demand on February 2nd. From yeah. All right, and finally we got some good old video game news. N64 Turok, which is an awesome first-person shooter from back in the day, is
love that game.
Getting remastered
yeah, man.
for PC. You can pick this up now on Steam. So if you guys N64 days and you like some Turok, you can pick up a remaster now on Steam for $15, and the sequel is awesome. So
I've still never played the sequel to Turok.
I played them both. I remember those. I used to play those games all the time, but I will say that a couple years ago, maybe like 4 years ago, I did revisit Turok, and I didn't really. It doesn't really hold up.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Well, maybe, yeah. N64 first-person shooters typically went the best. You typically need a mouse and a keyboard to play those type of games, so I'm curious to see how it is on the PC, all cleaned up and with good frame rate and all that kind of stuff. So I'll maybe give it a shot. We'll see. But that shall do it for the news. That do the job.
Is it. Yeah. Cool. Alrighty. So moving along into Moodz Swingz, and with the DVD and Blu-ray releases for December 22nd, 2016. And I have to say, this has got to be the weakest release date in recent memory, even worse than some of those November dates. It's crazy, man. So if you're all broke before Christmas, don't really worry about it. There's not a whole lot to pick up, but there is a couple good ones in here. So first up from Scream Factory, we have The Brain That Wouldn't Die, which is pretty cool. I like this film. I think it's
public domain. So
is it actually a public domain film?
Yeah.
Really? Interesting, because this movie looks good.
Are you sure?
Pretty damn sure.
Because I'm sure this movie has like 8 million releases.
I know Synapse has a DVD out for this.
Yeah.
Which I have, and it looks great. So I was thinking, I was like, that's public domain. Fuck, it looks good. Yeah, it's a fun flick. So check that one out. And wrapping up the DVD and Blu-ray releases for December 22nd, we have another Scream Factory release. And this one right here is one that I actually jumped up when they announced this, because
it's out of
print. The DVD goes for ridiculous amounts of money. Out of print Anchor Bay film called Nightmares, the anthology film from, I believe, 84.
I actually have this on pre-order. I actually want to see it.
83, 84.
I'm buying all these fucking full-price movies. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I was like, what has gotten into you?
I don't know, movies I want to see, so I'm gonna buy them. I
crazy.
bought the Guardians too, because I want to see that shit too, and it's fucking hard to find.
Do you guys know of anything else that's coming out this week? Because I couldn't find anything else. It was just these two releases. There's got to be more, though.
Yeah, I haven't really looked into it, so.
No, I was kind of searching around, like, man, I couldn't find shit, but I don't know. So I only got these two from Scream Factory.
Jeremy is correct that it is public domain, though.
I apologize,
really?
bitch.
Wow, man, that movie looks really good.
But the thing is, with public domain, just because something's public doesn't mean that like the public owns the transfer. Like people can own the transfer, so that's why a lot of public domain films you just can't make a Blu-ray, because you have to have the transfer too.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, so my release of the week. Eeny, meeny, miny. No, this one's a pretty much a no-brainer. I'm gonna have to go with I believe it's 1983 anthology Nightmares. Simply because this is a very sought-out film, and now it's readily available through Scream Factory, so everybody go out, buy 3 copies. I have absolutely no idea why you would do that.
Give one to me, so I don't have to pay for it.
And give one to me, too.
But why?
I got the shit on pre-order.
Don't you have the disc, Moods? Like,
I do have the disc for Nightmares. I have the actual press disc, but no art for it.
Why?
Well, I was down at my buddy's shop one day, and he's like, hey, man, you have this? And I'm like, no, I don't. And I'm like, where's the art? And he's like, I don't know, man. It came in some random case one day. And I was like, really? Oh, what a shame. What a fucking shame. But at least I have the disc, though. So, but yeah, Nightmares, release of the week. Yeah. And that's going to conclude the DVD and Blu-ray releases. What a savagely shitty week. That's crazy.
And somehow Scream Factory still manages to put out 2.
I know. I'm really surprised that there wasn't like 14 Wild Eye releases this week, because there usually is.
Did you guys talk about Fuckload of Scotch Tape last week?
Which one?
Fuckload of Scotch Tape, my professor's film that came out from Wild Eye last week.
No, it wasn't even listed.
No, wasn't listed.
Oh,
so
man.
all that says is they're not pushing that one.
Oh yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, I haven't heard them talk about it at all. It's kind of funny. It's his best movie too, which is kind of funny.
So
Yeah, so I don't believe that we have any voicemails this week, but do we have one question?
Yeah, we have it. We have an email. If you guys remember a while back, we did that Code Red rant, and
Yeah,
the guy who then emailed us, and then we talked about his email. So now he emailed us back again. He says, "Hey guys, I really enjoyed Italian Month. I have yet to see any of the Mario Bava films you guys talked about," which is funny because me and Moodz were just talking about how like that's probably the case with most people.
yeah.
But you guys definitely made me want to go out and buy them. I'm pretty sure that Blood and Black Lace US Arrow releases right around the corner, so it will be a day one pickup for me. I also wanted to add that I'm glad my Code Red defense email got a response. I honestly didn't expect you guys to have that long of a discussion with it, but it was a pretty good conversation. I like that you guys kept the discussion professional and didn't try to shoot me down. LOL. Which, thank you. We definitely made the conscious effort not to be like complete douchebags.
Unless you're a fucking idiot and you say stupid shit.
Yeah, like Jeremy.
Yeah, like
the main purpose of this email was to inform you guys of upcoming releases that you may not know about. I thought they were worth mentioning. The first is Don May Jr. from Synapse posted a photo. This is actually something that I was gonna bring up in the news, but I figured I would just do it in this email, guys. That's me talking, by the way. So the Don May Jr. posted a photo on Instagram, actually, and it was the Tenebrae test disc. And he mentioned that it was on version 3.0 and would probably need another version to fix some minor problems. The awesome thing is that he also commented on the photo and said there would be a steelbook version that includes a CD of the soundtrack and bonus extras that wouldn't be on the normal release. This got me pumped because that might mean we could be getting a similar edition for Suspiria. I know they will be expensive like the Demon steelbooks, but it would be totally worth it for these Argento flicks. Also, Diabolic DVD is taking pre-orders for Grindhouse Epic Blu-ray release set of Pieces. I can barely wait to get my hands on this one. I wanted to add that I picked up Arrow's Blu-ray of Spider Baby after going back and listening to your Spider Baby podcast.
Wow, somebody listened to it.
Always tell
Somebody
people
actually
to go
listened to
back
Spider
and listen to it. And he said he absolutely loved the movie. I thought it had a perfect combo of dark humor and regular old school horror. The Arrow Blu-ray looks amazing and has great features. The last little thing is for Moodz. I was wondering if you knew where I could get a North American version of Ryan Nicholson's Famine. He doesn't have it on his movie. He doesn't have the movie in his Plot Digger online store, and the only other version I can find is PAL UK release, which goes for $25+. Just thought I would ask if he knew of any indie web stores that might have it. Speaking of indie stores, just wanted to throw out that there is a toe tag sale going on. Some real good deals, including having Dustin Mills flicks for under $10. Okay, sorry for the long email. Take it easy, guys. That is Electric Kool-Aid hitting us up once again.
Not a fan of Famine. Not a fan.
Well, I actually don't know, because if he doesn't have it on the Plot Digger site anymore, damn, I don't know who would be carrying it, because I know the Blu-ray was limited to 50 or something like that. I believe there's no copies. Actually, Ryan gave me one for free, which I'm very proud to have, because that's really cool that he sent me that just out of the kindness of his heart. It was pretty cool. But I don't know who would be carrying that, because I know the DVD is really, really hard to find. I think it may be the UK one. I know there is a European version somewhere. I don't know, maybe like a German one or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, this is a really hard title to find. If it's not on the Plot Digger site, which, don't fully recommend even ordering from there, because I know a lot of people have had insane problems with, shipping and stuff. And we've heard the horror stories, and I've talked to Ryan personally about this, and he's just, you even bring it up and he lowers his head and he's just, he's like, I can't even, begin how much problem this has caused. It's a fucking headache for him. So, but honestly, I really can't help you out with this Famine. It's a really tough film to find now.
Oh yeah, it took me a long time to find it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the UK one might be the only way to get it right now.
Scotty sent it to me, actually.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. That Ryan Nicholson show we did still gets like tons of downloads. It's crazy. One of our more popular shows, considering it's just like more of it's not a franchise show or anything like super special. It's funny how that works. We get like, there's a lot of people that search. We get a lot of searches for that show too, like through Google and stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, sorry, man. Famine is it's
not a
super
good
super
movie
hard.
anyway.
Yeah. And
I don't
as
mind.
for the,
I actually don't mind it. I mean, it's not Ryan's best, and we even talked about that too. I briefly with him, but again, he had a little bit of issues making that one, I believe. So yeah, I mean, if you're a big enough fan, it's definitely worth the own. So yeah.
as for the toe tag sale, I did check it out, and it's like what is it, $55 for the August Underground films, which I wanted, plus shipping, I think, which is a little bit more than I wanted to pay. I think it's around that
shipping
price
for
on
you should be
eBay.
nothing though, considering.
Well, I went to
from
order
Pittsburgh.
them last year when they was doing a sale, and the shipping was $8 fucking, and I was like, "Are you kidding me, dude?" To me, I live in fucking Pittsburgh practically, and I was like,
Wow.
"What the hell? Come get them for that price."
Yeah, I'd go pick them up.
I was gonna say fucking drive over there.
And I messaged what's his wife's name?
Shelby.
Yeah, I messaged her and she's like, I have no idea why it would be that much, but I'll look into it. And then I just was like, fuck it, or whatever.
Mhm.
But I would like to get those still. So, but that's just too much for my current situation. I don't really. I got to see what's going on with this car first.
That does seem a little crazy. $8, huh? Wow. All right. Yeah. Okay. So that is voicemails and questions. Not much this week, which is really kind of interesting. Alrighty, so get into knowledge, and I think this week's topic is going to be Christmas horror. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so my idea behind this a little bit was it is our Christmas show. I'm pretty sure we've talked about Christmas horror before. Knowledge is a segment where we just kind of pick a topic and just roll with it a little bit. So figured what's more fitting than Christmas horror. But one thing that I wanted to talk about specifically, two things really. One is, and I know we've kind of touched on this before, but one is, why is there no serious Christmas horror films coming out really? And two, why is there not many sequel horror Christmas films that have come out over the years? Because if you remember, we did the Silent Night, Deadly Night show, which was an entire franchise. And then we're doing Jack Frost Tonight, which is one of the only other film series to have a sequel that is in Christmas horror. Besides like Gremlins, but that one goes like regular film-wise.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If they make a sequel to Krampus, I'll actually be really upset. That film does not need a sequel.
I said the same thing. I totally said the exact same thing too. When I left the theater, I'm like, there's no need for a sequel on this bullshit. But you know what? That movie probably, I think it's done really well in the box office. So I'm assuming that they are going to jump all over that. Expect, Krampus 2 by next
Michael Dougherty
Christmas.
needs to go do his fucking Trick or Treat too and quit worrying about Krampus. So
let me look up here what the box office was, because I think it did like really fucking.
Wow.
I kept hearing that it was like fucking doing really well.
Yeah.
While Jeremy does that, I did want to bring this up because this was kind of to go to my point a little bit, where there's not very many Christmas movie sequels. It's just weird that hasn't happened.
As of what's today? Friday. So since Wednesday, it's made $31 million on a $15 million budget.
So it is making money.
So Silent Night, Bloody Night 2 has just came out. It's out right now.
Yeah.
And I was curious to say, like, why...
It's like a sequel 40 years later?
Yeah, Silent Night, Bloody Night 2 Revival. It's it came out like last week, I think. The DVD is $14.99 on Amazon, and I believe it is on the streaming services as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Truthfully, didn't care for Silent Night, Bloody Night.
I actually really enjoy that film.
Surprising. Man. Maybe I just have to watch it again, but surprisingly, I didn't care for it. I think my favorite one out of all is probably Christmas Evil.
But what's Silent Night, Bloody Night, The Homecoming? Is that just like, because Silent Night, Bloody Night's public domain, isn't it? So
yeah.
But Adrian King's in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Silent Night, Bloody Night, The Homecoming.
What is that?
No idea, but here it is.
I remember seeing that. Like, I think I was reading about that. I don't even know what the hell the deal is with it. Really strange. But yeah, I mean, I would recommend watching Silent Night, Bloody Night again, Steve. It's actually a pretty decent film. The problem is with that movie is finding the best version of it. I should say the best transfer.
The DVD I have it is really dark.
Yeah, dude, and a lot of them are like that. I did pick up I hate even mentioning this, but I picked up the double feature Code Red DVD of it. And then I know that there was another company that put out Silent Night, Bloody Night at the exact same time. Apparently, in the transfer was just a little bit better than that one too. But I have to say, for the 4 or 5 copies or editions I have of Silent Night, Bloody Night, the Code Red one is the best one I've seen so far, which is odd considering they're known for having pretty shitty transfers. But this one wasn't as dark as I was expecting it to be, and so it made it a little. The point is what I'm getting at. Sometimes a transfer can affect your judgment of a film. I know JP, this has happened to him in the past before, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like transfers just kind of ruin it for you a little bit, and so that could be a case, Steve.
Yeah, I have the DVD that was put out by Catcom. It was a double feature with Christmas Evil.
Really, there was a double? Wow, crazy.
Yeah, that was the first public domain, or like what? That's not public domain.
I have the DVD, the double feature DVD put out by Catcom Films, and I have the Blu-ray put out by Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah, I have the Synapse DVD of Christmas Evil, and of course the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, which looks fantastic. But even Synapse's DVD Blu-ray or DVD release is really good. It's really, really fucking good. Yeah, way better than that older Trauma one. Way better than that older Trauma release, man. It was terrible.
So why do you think that early on there was all these all the Christmas horror films were relatively serious, but now it seems like they're all comedy?
I think it's just the way of the way filmmaking is now. I mean, look at the abundance of horror comedies compared to different times. I mean, we've talked about this many times this year, even by itself. Is this year going to be remembered as the year of the horror comedy?
Well, putting it into Christmas, you have to think of it this way: who would be that one guy to totally shit on the holiday of Christmas by making a complete
David Sterling
sadistic Christmas film?
David Sterling.
Sterling?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Well, who is that, Steve?
Who is who?
Who would be that person to make that sadistic?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, David Sterling.
I can see, surprisingly, I could see Rob Zombie probably.
Oh, dude, man. Rob Zombie making a Christmas horror film? That would be amazing. Yeah. Oh, that would be amazing. I can't even think of that. That would blow my mind.
I'm just so overwhelmed with...
Because it would be serious, too, right? That's the thing.
No, it would just be, the film to kind of, take you out of the whole holiday spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of want that in a way. That's what... Yeah. Look at Black Christmas or Silent Night, Deadly Night. These films are dark. They were intentionally trying to freak you out. No film... I feel the mentality of that is gone altogether, and especially in Christmas films. Nobody wants to put themselves out there and try to scare somebody, because if it doesn't work, you're going to look like a jackass, and people are going to make fun of your movie. And I really think it's just people are afraid to attempt it anymore.
Because, we've talked about this many times in the past, I think it's just easier to take that route for a film.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Where's all the good filmmakers that are willing to try it, man?
Well, where the fuck's all the Hanukkah movies?
It's easier to make a horror comedy than it is to make a serious horror film, because when like we said before, if you fail at making a serious horror film, it's shitty.
Yeah, if you fail at making a comedy,
people just accept it.
But it's also it's fun. Then they can at least laugh because it's stupid.
Exactly.
Right?
People just accept it. They're just whatever.
I've said it once, and I've said it before. I am making a Hanukkah Harry slasher film. Fuck you guys.
Menorah Maniac.
And it's going to be cheesy comedy, right?
No, he's going to kill people with his menorahs and his dreidels and his...
Sounds cheesy comedy.
His Jewish golden coins and...
If you played that straightforward, that would be the best movie ever made.
It's
no comedy.
It's frustrating to me because, when I think of, Black Christmas, dude, it's a scary movie. That's a freaky-ass, awesome movie. And same thing goes with Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yeah, it's a bit more camp and slashery and fun, but as a child, Santa Claus with a fucking axe, or you look at in All Through the House, the Tales from the Crypt episode, also you can take it funny now with certain scenes, the way she hits him with the fire poker and stuff, but it's fucking scary at the end of the day. Look at the mutant Santa Claus killer guy. There's all these films, Gremlins is the prime example of the comedy one, but even that one has its moments.
There really isn't, in the last, 25 years, there hasn't really been a lot of serious Christmas horror films at all. It is true.
Has there been any?
I really can't even think of.
I don't think so.
The only one that I can possibly think of that doesn't have those those comedic elements to the point where it's considered like a horror comedy is Rare Exports. You know, it's kind of.
That's not really a direct horror film either, though. It's like a fantasy type deal, isn't it?
It is, but yeah, exactly. I mean, you could kind of put this in different categories for sure, but if you want to call it a horror film, it's a little more serious. It has really kind of goofy elements to it. Not like goofy. It's kind of a bad word, but it's just so fucking in left field. This movie is so strange, but it's got a really good idea. But the fact of the matter is, it's not a full-blown horror comedy.
Well, I mean, take the films that are coming out today. Take, for example, Cesar Nato's Deadly Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight up horror, which is a fun film.
Cadaver Christmas, also a fun film.
Oh, yeah.
That was what I was
exactly.
thinking, so.
Oh, you know what? I would probably say Dead End.
Oh, that movie's fucking good. That's
Also comedy.
That's a good French film. Fucking Dead End.
You think?
What,
You don't
Dead
like
End?
it?
Like Dead End's considered like a horror comedy?
Yeah. The mother...
yeah, where they're
she-
driving on the road.
Yeah. She's all kooky and shit and saying funny stuff. Like, I mean, honestly, it's dark comedy. That's probably one of the more serious ones. I love Dead End, but it still is a little comedic.
Yeah, there is cracks and stuff in there, but I don't think it's meant to be like straight up horror comedy.
Yeah, but it's also not like a straight Christmas film either, right? It just takes place on Christmas.
Exactly.
But guess what it is? It's fucking French.
Is it?
Yeah, it's French Canadian.
Just imagine a Christmas horror film made by the guys
That doesn't count.
Inside.
It's still
The fuck you mean that doesn't count? What a dick.
Yeah,
it's Canada, dude.
Being a fucking asshole,
It's
man.
Canada.
They're still
so
French,
Ryan Nicholson's
though.
films
Y'all are
don't
the
count?
same place.
They're still French.
So Ryan Nicholson's films don't count?
They're not French.
Oh, for fuck's sake. They're still from Canada.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not. That's what I'm saying they are. They're Canadian films.
Oh, you're discluding the French Canadians?
yeah.
Oh, that's what.
I'm not. They're Canada's.
But Dead End is considered a French film.
Is it really?
Yeah. It's probably because it was made there. What was it actually made in Quebec? Is that what it's saying? Okay.
That's
but yeah, it is really hard to find any serious horror films from like the last 25 years, like Christmas related horror films. That's really strange. I have to say, man, like, there's so many.
It's so disheartening, dude, because that's what I
really
want.
is.
I just want it so bad.
You want to talk about disheartening, man? I know Steve has seen Krampus, and honestly, Steve, I don't know if you listened to my review I did last week of this, but I'll just kind of go briefly through it again. But I was talking about like the comedy elements of this film and how it completely ruined the movie for me. I thought like, everything that was kind of leading up to, the scene with the, I'll just say the gingerbread guys is really the breaking point in the film where I was just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me with this shit.
I agree.
It really ruined it for me. But even up until that point, I was dealing with the comedic elements because, of course, the actors and the script and stuff. And I knew kind of going in it was going to be like that a little bit. But I didn't expect full comedy relief, of the auntie, the drunk auntie. Like everything that she was cracking was just kind of getting blah, blah, blah. But, dude, did they not ruin the whole look and feel? The atmosphere of that film was fantastic, right?
I agree. 100%.
It looks so good. And like when the daughter goes outside and like that snowy atmosphere, and they created such it was just a really well put together film up until the comedy kind of ruined it.
Well, you can kind of expect that too, just looking at the trailer, seeing the cast of the film.
The thing is, I don't watch trailers anymore.
Yeah,
like,
we all don't watch
I
trailers
avoid them
anymore.
for this purpose because I don't want to see any of that shit going into this. But man, dude, I can see why people are really digging Krampus, if you can accept that comedy. But it didn't stop though, man. I found like some people were saying that even in the third act, it wasn't as comedic and stuff. I disagree, man.
I disagree too.
There was still fucking cracks in the third act. Well, where all this like weird shit. And I will say, I don't know if you agree with me, but doesn't the third act remind you of like the best made full moon film ever?
Yes. Yeah, with all those creatures and stuff.
Yeah, like just the way they kind of did it. It's like you take a full moon film and just put it into Hollywood, and this is what you get.
I kind of really expected to see something like the Gingerdead Man come out and just say like some Gary Busey type lines.
But honestly, if you just took this Krampus film and just kind of rolled with that dark theme, you can have a little bit of cracks in there and stuff, but just kept that, that tone to the film, this movie would have been really fucking good.
If they ended it like I told you earlier how they should have ended it, then I would have given it so much more credit.
Yeah, I mean, I probably the biggest disappointment of the year. The thing is, I didn't hate this movie. There is a lot of elements I really enjoyed, but it is probably by far my biggest disappointment of the year because I was just like so enthralled at the beginning of this film. I was like, this is fucking awesome. And then bam.
Basically, take National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation and give it a horror twist. That's what you're going to get.
It's pretty much, right? That's exactly what it is. Yeah, the shitty family comes to visit, and then fucking shit starts going on.
But, yeah, the guy from Anchorman and The Comebacks is exactly like the new version of Cousin Eddie.
There's
pretty much exactly right. It's a good comparison.
Even the fact that Moodz, like you mentioned Dead End, and yeah, I mean, P2 is another one I think of a little bit, but like I said, they just take place on Christmas. But even look at Dead End, though, that film's 13 years old at this point.
Mm-hmm. P2 is actually pretty straightforward.
Yeah. And it's weird to think about that. And you know what, honestly, like, say what you want about the Black Christmas remake and how fucking stupid it is compared to the first one. At least it's fucking kind of hardcore.
I agree.
Well, it's trying to be serious too, right? I mean,
yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
So I give him props for that. I mean, that movie honestly has one of the best looking casts in it.
I know, those chicks are so hot. You know, one of them's the little girl from Pete and Pete.
Oh yeah.
I forget her name.
Well, yeah, the girl from Pete and Pete.
What's Pete's little friend?
The girl. Nona.
Nona.
Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yeah, she grew up and got really hot.
Yeah.
I think when I reviewed this in my 25 Days of Christmas Horror, I think I even talked about how I felt shitty every time those hot chicks were dying because I just wanted to see them more.
Yeah.
It's like one of those type of films. It's strange.
I'm not a like huge hater of that movie. Like, I know that it's got its problems and stuff, but it's still pretty for a mainstream release. Like, there's like incestual themes to it, and there's like the flesh Christmas cookies, which I like. There's some cool moments.
I think my biggest problem is that they just kind of focused a little too much on those other type of, subplots and things like that were going on in the film. I can't quite remember. I haven't seen it in a couple years, but I know I did have issues with it. But yeah, I mean, that definitely is one of the more darker Christmas, related horror films.
In a pool filled with no dark Christmas films. It's like it stands alone. And for that reason alone, maybe I like it for that.
It's a really interesting point you bring up. Like, thinking about it now, it's really crazy that they don't make serious ones anymore. Considering the 70s and 80s, it was pretty much all serious ones. They just went complete opposite. I mean, you got, Black Christmas and Silent Night, Bloody Night, and then of course, I mean, you got your cheesier, campier ones, like you said, with Silent Night, Deadly Night, and of course, Christmas Evil is, it's played pretty straight. It's still a little weird.
It's the perfect contrast, dude. This happy holiday in which you're supposed to have this joy, and this just sadistic, dark murder and violence. Like, to me, there's nothing better than it, really, when it comes to like straight horror. Like, if you want to be like straight like violent horror and just scary and just hardcore, like, Christmas is a great holiday to set your horror film on. I almost feel like you could use that as a marketing campaign alone. Is like, hey, this is hardcore horror right here, and it's on Christmas. Like, because everybody be like, I haven't seen one of those in forever. This is the Silent Night, Deadly Night of our generation or something.
Definitely missing those gritty films, man. 1975's Night Train Murders. It takes place on Christmas, and it's, the best way to describe the film, if you've never seen it, it's basically Last House on the Left on a train. It's essentially what it is.
Sounds awesome.
It's gritty, it's dirty, it makes you want to take a shower after you finish the film, and it's awesome. It's fucking straightforward, and it's brutal. It's a really, really nasty, brutal film, and it's, it has that Christmas type theme to it. So that's another one. You got Don't Open Till Christmas from '84. Again, it's on the lines of a little campier slasher. Some people say they don't like this, so I think it's fun, but the thing with this movie is that it had a lot of production problems. I think there was like 3 different directors on this one, so it's kind of like all over the place, but at least it's not fucking straight up comedy.
I love Black Christmas and Silent Night, Deadly Night so much, and especially Black Christmas, because it really is like, it stands alone as like the greatest Christmas horror film, and just in terms of like, it captures everything that you want in a horror film and Christmas at the same time.
We'll take a dark and sadistic film like Moodz knows this one, Crazy Murder, and set it on Christmas.
Oh my God.
How the Crazy Murder Stole Christmas.
Oh, that would be Jesus. I don't even know what to think of that, man. Crazy Murder. That is definitely the movie that's made me gag the most ever in a film.
That's the movie that stopped me from eating McDonald's for a couple months.
Oh God, yeah, man.
Oh,
Remember the
did
beginning of
you
my
post
review,
that
Steve?
trailer or something?
I sent a lot of people the trailer.
Oh,
I
fuck
started out my
that.
review with a puke bucket, and I was just getting sick into it. It was like, bleh. It's fucking gross, man. It really is.
That's kind of all I really wanted to say about it. I just miss the idea of like having a scary Christmas horror movie, and it saddens me to, especially like these two films we're about to talk about kind of really made me just like want to watch Black Christmas or something else, you know?
Oh,
It's like there's room for the Santa sleighs of the world. I'm not saying there's not. I like Santa sleigh. It's just I would love to see a return to form.
I just thought of one. I know this one is, and I know if you're from the Netherlands or whatever, and I think it has a totally different type of meaning to you, to them. But the movie Saint or Sint from 2010, this movie is not a horror comedy, and it's, you know, it's got those Christmas elements and stuff. This one's straight up horror.
That's
straight up.
I have heard of that one. I haven't seen it though.
Yeah, and then, you know,
because
the
this
other one
year in particularly, we had so many Christmas horror movies this year, right? Is there one that's serious?
I have heard. I haven't seen it. I've been wanting to get it though. I just couldn't find it. I've been meaning to ask you guys a Christmas horror story, or as Walmart calls it, a holiday Christmas story.
I reviewed it. It's definitely comedy. It's fun. It's the funnest Christmas movie that I've seen this year, but it's comedy.
I think the thing that makes me appreciate Krampus a little more is it's a film that doesn't involve a guy in a Santa suit just hacking at people.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think with A Christmas Horror Story, I think it, you know, it definitely has its comedic moments, but it's not the main focus of the film, in my opinion. I enjoyed it though. I mean,
it's a great movie. I mean, I give it like a 7.5 or something, but it definitely like when you have elves running around, zombie elves running around like "fuck you, Santa, suck a dick" or something, you know, like that's pure comedy at that point.
I have to say I fucking loved the ending of that movie, man.
Yeah,
so
it was
good.
fun.
Yeah, really, really well made stuff. So, oh, dude, they're just like coming to me left and right. What about The Children from 2008?
See, I haven't seen that one either. Is that one that has a lot to do with Christmas or just set on Christmas?
It's set on Christmas. Basically, these families that get together, and yeah, it's set on Christmas.
Yeah.
It's considered a Christmas horror film for sure.
There are a few serious ones that are more just kind of set on Christmas, like the P2 of the world and stuff. But yeah,
this one definitely has a Christmas feel to it, though. Okay, like there's trees and there's lights. You know, it's the point is the family's getting together for Christmas.
Okay.
Right. So essentially, it has that storyline, but yeah, this one's really doesn't have much comedy to it. So
just imagine a Christmas horror film made by the same dudes that did Inside.
Oh. Well, Inside actually takes place on Christmas.
I was about to say.
That's right.
Somebody told me that.
It's been a while since
It's funny. I never consider Inside to be a Christmas because it doesn't really have that Christmas feel. It just happens to be set on Christmas Eve, I believe.
That's because the French don't celebrate Christmas
at all to me.
They don't celebrate Christmas?
No, they don't.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Here's one thing I'll bring up. It seems that a lot of the sequels, if there are any sequels to any Christmas horror films, it seems that the sequels do not feel like Christmas at all.
Are there any sequels besides Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Jack Frost?
Well,
I guess there's Silent Night, Bloody Night now.
Yeah, I was just about to say. Even like regular Christmas films, like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation 2, I don't think that had much to do with Christmas.
Yeah, that one doesn't really feel like it, but Home Alone did.
Home Alone is one.
Home Alone actually has 5 movies. It's crazy.
Well, Home Alone 3 didn't feel like Christmas. I think that took place after Christmas.
Did you say no, JP?
I thought it only had 4.
No, it's got 5.
When did the 5th one come out?
I don't know, but I have it.
ABC Family did like a TV special.
Oh, that's so gay. They're terrible, though.
Oh, I know. I don't know why they keep fucking making those bullshit.
Well, honestly, they could make them, though. It wouldn't be hard to make one. They just fucking suck at it.
Yeah, they don't utilize on like the whole elaborate traps and shit.
They also don't really capture the holiday feel that the first 2 did, because it really does capture the holiday season great.
Home Alone 3 didn't capture that feeling at all. Neither did Part 4.
I stopped at 3.
I actually did watch 4 because I was like in 4th grade when that came out, so I kind of liked it at that point, but now I can do without.
All right, you guys want to get into these Jack Frost is?
Oh boy.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
Alrighty, so getting into the featured reviews of this episode 67, the Christmas Extravaganza, third annual show. So for this week, we are going to be talking about, the 1997 film titled Jack Frost.
Dude, you have a look of disgust on your face.
Yeah, I'm just looking.
Funny.
Jeremy, why the fuck would you pick these?
Because I think they're fucking fun as shit, man. They're so bad. We'll get to Jack Frost 2, as I said earlier today. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. But at least Jack Frost 1, I think tomorrow is going to be a good reason, a good explanation as to why I picked these movies.
Okay, so Jack Frost from 1997, some 90s goodness right here, right? All right, so storyline. Serial killer is genetically mutated in a car wreck on the way to his execution.
Somehow.
After which, he becomes a murdering snowman hellbent on revenge for the sheriff who caught him. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Now,
Ratings?
how shitty does the fucking snowman suit look? It looks like a fucking guy that has a freaking painted white oven mitts, and they're not even painted white. And he has
It's just like it's a foam suit, like oven mitts.
Yeah, and he has a fucking a foam snow globe on his head that was painted white and probably have some eyes cut out.
Well, just put it this way: at least the production value of Jack Frost 1 is a little better than Jack Frost 2.
Oh,
absolutely.
You know, it's kind of fucking sad that this movie looks like a fucking $1 million film compared to the sequel.
Part 2 looks
Did anybody else consider
same guy
bumping
from
their
Tarantino
rating up for
just
part
directed
1 after watching part 2?
No.
But
no.
There's so many things that don't make sense in this movie. AKA, how the fuck do you fill up a bed of fucking antifreeze out of 20 bottles? It's like you fucking make a pool of antifreeze, but you only have fucking 20 bottles in the fucking window. You fucking stupid continuity assholes.
Well, the thing is, where the hell did they get all those bottles from? They just had all that shit sitting around.
It was
it was the hardware store that was selling fucking ice and shit all story long.
But still, man, you need 1,000 fucking bottles.
Yeah, it's and then you fucking, and then and added to that, you fucking have some hilarious Ed Wood type of fucking wrestling moves with fucking Jack Frost versus the sheriff. That looks like freaking Bela Lugosi fighting the fucking octopus in what movie? One of Ed Wood's movies. I mean, it's fucking terrible.
It's really sad. It's really sad, starting right from the top of this film that, the opening credits, I actually kind of like the way they did the opening credits in this film.
No, man, that girl's voice is fucking... I don't say this often. It is the most retardedest voice I've ever heard in my life.
We're allowed to say retarded on the show. We've explained why.
Jesus.
The opening credits are actually it's funny to me because the opening credits in this film they're better than the entire Jack Frost 2 film. And that's just ridiculous, man.
I gotta be honest, straight up.
I like how they did it. They tell the story, they tell this kind of kiddie story, and I don't know, it's okay.
No, I liked it. I liked it.
That's what happened.
At least they put some fucking effort into this.
Yeah, it's effort. And one thing that I will say about this one right off the bat, just so I can kind of get it out the way, is this film does have charm to it.
Oh, definitely. Fucking crickets over there. Jeremy's like,
what?
I do got to admit, though, watching it for the first time after the second kill, I want to say, I thought it was going to be a lot darker than what I was expecting.
Well, you have a kill in this movie that's almost as laughable as Children of the Corn 2 wheelchair kill. That makes no fucking sense. So the fucking kid's head gets chopped off by the sled, and it fucking goes from right to left when the fucking sled was going from left to right, and it's fucking terrible.
Oh, yeah, you noticed that too?
Actually.
Holy shit, Ryan killed Billy.
They just threw the head up in the air, and they're like, it doesn't matter, we're just gonna keep going anyway, because we don't have time to do another take.
I love that.
Well, the thing that made me a little bit more intrigued was seeing the chick from American Pie in it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Shannon Elizabeth,
This had to be one of her first films, eh?
I don't know.
This is her
when
first
did the film come out?
I think this is her first, 97.
97.
But
I
I
think
want
it's
to
her
know
first role, yeah.
Where's the fucking titties in both of these films?
I was, expecting
Yeah, there is no titty. Yeah, good point.
Well, there's ass. There's a little bit of ass.
Yeah, there was. She was in a few other things, but she was in one other film called Blast, and then she did a few TV before doing this.
And then she did Scary Movie Part 1 and then American Pie Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
The one thing about this film that I always take away from it is the ridiculous puns that are in this movie. And like they're almost
What's the difference
on the
between
line.
snow women and snowmen?
They got cans.
Snowballs.
They got balls. They got balls. Yeah, man. This movie, I mean, some of the puns are like, honestly, this sounds funny, but they're all like on the same level as like Child's Play, man. Like some of they just totally remind me of those type of
Well,
jokes.
this guy was clearly based off the Charles.
Oh yeah, this
it
guy
seems like a film about Charles.
Oh, big time. But the
Band,
puns are like identical.
I swear to God, for sure, I was like, dude, this Jack Frost is supposed to be like the same type of voice acting as Brad Dourif did for Chucky. And honestly,
right?
if they would have got Brad Dourif to do this, like it might have actually, where it probably would have been very similar.
Especially in the flashback scenes where he's like getting taken to jail and he's saying this stuff to the sheriff, saying like, "I will find you somehow, some way." I immediately saw Brad Dourif.
Yeah,
that guy's mean looking though. That
yeah,
actor,
no,
he actually looks the part.
Yeah,
he seems like somebody we know.
Yeah,
no names.
Yeah,
dude, I fucking lost it when they were talking about it. And they're like, I think it was Billy. Is that his name? And the chick is like, we could go out later and we could go snowballing. And I was like, oh my God, I fucking lost my shit.
Yeah, it's so
because I was like, what, are you gonna like spit cum in the guy's mouth or something? Like, Jesus.
Yeah, they were obviously talking about something else, but
I know
it sounds retarded when they say it. Period.
We could go snowballing. I was like, I guess that guy likes the taste
dude,
of
it
his
gets
cum.
so like this film has to be aware, like right? It had to have been aware of what it was doing because. Like,
it's self-aware.
Nadia fucking is blow drying her hair out of nowhere. Literally, the only reason she starts
and then she takes a bath.
And then she takes a bath.
But the reason she starts blow drying her hair is so that she can't hear the murders of her boyfriend in the other room.
Well, she has music playing,
it's so
too.
convenient for the plot. Yeah, she turns on the music, blow dries her hair. First of all, there's a blow dryer sitting in the middle of fucking nowhere, like just a shelf.
Doesn't make any sense, man.
And then there's another one sitting on a police desk at the police station. Like, who has these random ass hair dryers? Why are they there?
Oh man.
Well, I'm confused. Did Jack rape her, or did he just bang her head against the wall?
I think he was raping her because he takes his nose and he puts it back up top.
I don't know.
Well, I was just waiting.
I mean, we could assume, but
dude,
are
you telling me that when he takes his nose off and reaches up and puts it back on his nose right afterwards, where else would his nose be?
True.
Yeah.
True. I mean,
they just didn't get graphic with it because
I know that's such a weird part though. Like, what? I don't know. I mean, if you're just gonna show that and just kind of insinuate, I don't know. I guess so.
I was waiting for the ginger jokes to come in. I was like, there was no ginger jokes because the kid was clearly a fucking ginger. So I was like, oh,
I don't think ginger was a thing.
That kid wasn't seen much at all in this film, though.
The whole like ginger making fun of thing didn't happen until much later. This was like 97.
Be like, let's go make some gingerbread. Yeah, I didn't want you to get cold, so I put antifreeze.
Listen,
I mean, if you were the dad,
kid
wouldn't you be more mad knowing that your kid
so
was trying to kill you?
I put antifreeze in the freaking whatever he was making. It's like,
yeah,
who
I wouldn't
puts
be fucking kissing him. I'd be like, what the hell's the matter with you, kid?
I put antifreeze in the fucking.
No, where is antifreeze?
Then
who the fuck says anti? Like they overpronouncing it. Anti.
That's like probably the actual pronunciation. We just.
I don't know, man. I've never heard anyone say like kind of break it down to anti.
I didn't want
antifreeze.
You to get cold,
Antifreeze.
So I put antifreeze and.
It's antifreeze, man. Come on. But that one fucking word.
Listen, how funny! Like as soon as the movie starts and you have the dad coming into his house and his kid is spooning that oatmeal shit that he's making, and he carries it over to his dad to put it in a plastic bag, and it's falling all over the floor and shit. I'm like, dude, this kid is not that young. Like, he's not young enough to not know that that's fucking stupid that you're gonna drop shit all over the floor.
He's gotta be at least like 12 years old.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, this is so fucking stupid. I'd smack him in the head. I'd be like, what are you doing? Why
haven't your parents taught you not to use the things under the sink?
Like, you're old enough to cook, but you literally can't. You're not old enough to not be like too clumsy and like little to like drop food all over the floor. Like, you know, in the original Child's Play when Andy brings in his mom and it's all spilling everywhere and shit. That makes sense because he's such a little kid, right? But this kid's like 12. He's not cute like that anymore.
No, he's definitely not. He's definitely not.
And I was just like, this is so bad. And another thing I noticed like right away is, even though this film is like all the snow is fake as fuck, all like everything just looks like it was filmed in like heat in like the hot.
It looked like shaved coconuts.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's one thing. Film manages to capture a little bit of Christmas vibe in the nighttime scenes later on.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I mean the set pieces used in part 2 are just so much worse than this, but this one definitely has its problems. Like there's some of the daytime shots are so bad, like you can tell it's probably 30 degrees out. You know, the road is completely dry and then it's got this really shitty fake flake snow.
Yeah,
like
it's
you know, even in the very beginning when they're driving down the road, like you could tell it's not snowing.
But that's the charm of the film right there.
Like they filmed this film in California, dude. Like it's not cold.
Totally. But the thing is, when it's that sunny out and you have snow like on your grass and it's most likely going to melt and get the road wet. I just love how the road is bone dry.
Yeah, and it doesn't have like the black, what do they call it, like slushy stuff all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't have that sludge or anything.
Yeah.
One thing from this movie that always makes me laugh, I don't know if you guys noticed, but is the music playing when there's like kill scenes. It's like so happy-feely. It's like this perfect
like
Christmas film.
Because it's like
so funny.
like
I love that too, man. It just adds, it just kind of brings a smile to your face, right? They're just not taking the shit serious at all, but you know, it's just, it adds to the charm of it, man.
This is the difference between like these type of films and Mutantis, which essentially are the same style, right? They're done the same way in terms of like the type of humor, but this one just has more heart and charm to it than something like that. And that's why I kind of dig this one a little bit. It's like a Thanksgiving-y type of charm.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know if it's that level of fucking Z grade filmmaking.
No, it's definitely not that low budget. But I'm saying,
the production value.
Don't get
does anybody know the budget on this?
The production value in the film, again, is like really, really low. But man, it looks like $1 million film compared to the second one.
It's hard to not compare it to that second one, right?
It's fucking funny. It's like insane how different they are, man. But even like the editing in this movie is so B level too, right? There's a lot of transitions and stuff that are just, I don't know, there's something about the editing in this film is strange.
Yeah.
Well, they
I didn't pay much attention to it, but
I noticed in so many scenes
like,
it's just
jumps.
Yeah, like it's very choppy and weird, and it's not well put together. Let's just put it that way. But again, some odd way it just kind of adds to the charm of it. I getting back to the puns and like the stupid one-liners in this film. Fuck, dude, some of the lines in this film are actually funny. Like I love when Jack Frost says the world's most pissed off snow cone. I fucking love that line, man. It's like one of my favorite ones. I don't know why I always laugh at that, but I love that line.
This film came out the year before the Michael Keaton like Family Jack Frost. Do you think they knew that was coming and they tried to maybe confuse people, have them rent this? Because this is back when the video store, this was the first time that the video store was really doing direct to video. Like this was that 90s era, that mid-late 90s era where direct to video started happening, like with Full Moon and stuff. So this was definitely a direct to video film. There's like you can't find a budget on this thing. What do you guys think the budget would be?
$1.5
million?
$1.5 million?
Yeah.
Fuck. I would be so surprised, dude.
I was thinking like probably $30-40.
I was thinking like 300,000.
You made that joke last week, Moodz. It's not funny anymore.
Oh, shut up.
Oh,
they probably used all the money on the fake snowman and the antifreeze.
Well, the effect when the fucking
they spent so much on that.
When they put the fucking antifreeze on the guy first, like, and his head is like half melted. That was pretty cool. That's pretty a cool fact. When it's like his fucking brain hanging out.
Yeah, one thing about this movie that. Another thing that makes me laugh is, how they kind of throw in this like subplot, kind of not really twist, but how like the scientist doesn't want to, kill off Jack Frost because he wants to do, some tests and, he's priceless and stuff. I just love how they throw this into the film because really there's just nothing else there, or else this movie would have been like 70 minutes. So they have to kind of throw in this angle.
Oh yeah, and it's literally the same angle that's in every single fucking movie where there's like a experiment gone wrong. Like,
I just love how
everyone.
I just love how they just throw this in. All of a sudden, he just appears and he's like, "Hey, and by the way, this is pretty interesting. Don't kill him."
Yeah.
Like, every time makes me laugh. It's so stupid because for a fucking fact that this is not going to happen. It's great B movie making right there. Awesome stuff. Oh man, but I have to say though, man, this movie, it does great on me, man, with the general dialogue though. The general dialogue in this film is just it's funny, but it's so bad. Like, the script is terrible. Like, the screenplay.
Yeah. Oh man, it's like
there's just so much bad back and forth in this film.
It feels like honestly, like I don't know, man. It feels like I could like write this shit, which is always a bad thing if I could do it. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, man. But I have to say, man, one of the the scene where he fucking basically, well, I guess it's kind of the end scene. I don't know if this is a spoiler or whatever, but basically when Jack Frost goes through the window, I have to say, man, that shit looks so fucking funny to me because it's
dude.
It's just the way they shot it. You can tell it's just like a big foam fucking Jack Frost. Oh, it just looks so funny, dude. It makes me piss my pants every time. Again, the cheapest production value, but good stuff. Good stuff. I don't really know what to say about this movie, man, to be honest.
No, I think it's
fun,
pretty charming,
it's fun. I always have a blast watching this film, but I do love the one-liners in this film. There's so many stupid ones, man. Like, even by the sheriff, like, you left the 7-10 split. My God.
I will just say this, guys.
So bad.
The director of this film was like live chatting, like commentating on Twitter, like tweeting out like stuff. Well, because this film played on Chiller the other night, and he was like
Really?
live talking about it, which was pretty cool. I'm just reading through his comments a little bit.
Does he have any like decent input for the film?
Yeah, he keeps pulling up original props. He's like, original prop of Jack Frost nose, and like takes a picture of it.
Really?
Well, here's one question for him. How come that DVD is so out of print?
He said it was
expensive?
90 degrees when they filmed it up in Big
that
Bear.
makes sense. Totally makes sense.
High winds, no real snow, obviously. I think that's cool. We probably could have got him for an interview if I would have, planned this out, That's pretty cool, though, man.
Yeah, because he hasn't directed anything else.
Well, he did part 2, right?
Part 2, that's it. That was his last movie.
The one scene in this film or one thing that always annoys the shit out of me, man, is the scene where the sheriff is in the car with his son and the water starts pouring in. And of course, Jack Frost makes the funny ass joke about, your car's flooded. Or your engine's flooded or whatever. But anyways, because the sheriff is telling the son, he's like, don't touch the water, right? And then in like the very next scene when the sheriff's in the house and the door's shut, he's trying to stuff the paper in the door to like stop the water from coming in. Well, if you watch that scene, his hands are just getting drenched with the water. Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
yeah, his hands are saturated.
I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, you're touching it, nothing happens. So it's fucking stupid. Makes the whole car scene just ridiculous. But I don't know. Stupid things like that. I guess they're expected, right?
Oh man.
It's just like, it's literally the next scene. Fucking so funny, man.
A lot of plot holes. I remember it's so hard to even like pick this apart because like, what the fuck's the point? It's all bad. But there's a scene where the guy's like sitting, the boyfriend's sitting in the sheriff's house. They go to the sheriff's house to have sex. And he's like, he hears somebody pull in and he's like, yeah, I'm just in here, Sheriff. I swear I'm not stealing anything. It's like, he's like, I'm not a robber, I swear. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? He's not a robber.
It's me, Billy. I'm not a burglar.
Then he grabs a knife out of the thing. He's trying to grab a knife. And there's a little comedic moment where he keeps grabbing the wrong thing. But I'm like, okay, you're not a robber, yet you're getting armed with a knife. Like, it makes no sense, dude.
And he keeps peeking out the door screaming, who's out there?
Yeah, he's like, Sheriff, it's just Billy. Or whatever the fuck his name is.
It's a fun film, man.
No,
like
literal
full
laughs.
of charm.
Literal laughs from me, and which is rare because I don't laugh at stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like the Grinch, essentially.
Oh, you're just a Mexican.
Half.
So you say Mexicans don't have any sense of humor?
typically not.
I thought that was the Germans.
Nah.
The Germans don't have any sense of humor. But yeah.
All right, ratings.
Yeah. So I had to go back. And actually check out my review I'd done for this a couple years ago. And I think, I'm essentially going to stick with the exact same rating I gave it. Because, like we said, I think this movie has a shitload of charm. And, this rating is based on, like a B-level type scale too, because, this movie is, you just have to take it for what it is. But the thing about this movie is that it's entertaining. It goes by pretty fast, actually, for what it is. And I am going to stick with my original rating on this one. I'm going to give it a 7. Ooh. Yeah. I honestly have so much fun with this movie every time I watch it.
I also have fun with this one, and this is the only time I've ever seen it. I remember when I was a kid, actually, my cousin had rented it, and he was a little older than me, and he's like, dude, I seen Jack Frost. And I was like, oh, I seen that too, like the one, I was talking about the one with Michael Keaton, and he was like, no, dude, Jack Frost
7?
horror. That's a little delayed reaction, but
7.
Me personally, it's definitely a bad movie, and my ratings are more factored on like just how good the movie is and not like how much I enjoy it, because I'm a weirdo and enjoy things that shouldn't be enjoyed. But I still do factor some entertainment value when I do my ratings. I just don't lean on it heavy like Moodz does. So I'm going to go and give it a very generous 5 out of 10.
Yeah. Figured so. Jeremy?
I'm going to go back to my old school style of just saying 4 out of 10.
So, like, what is this based? Like, you didn't enjoy this at all?
I enjoyed it enough to give it a 4.
Now, is it because, like, it's just, that's as good as it is? It's as good as a 4 out of 10?
Yeah.
That's your
It's funny, and it has...
Spec-wise, yeah, I think it is, technically a 4 out of 10.
Jeremy's rating is more appropriate than both of ours in terms of just a complete from not
I don't think
any
anything's
bias
appropriate because everyone has a different
I'm saying if you're gonna tell a random person like this is how good this movie is, not somebody who is a fan of horror comedies or a fan of the low budget stuff, if you're just talking to the most average person ever, that's probably the rating that would make the most sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Steve?
In all, I found it to be enjoyable. It's not a film that I'm going to be demanding to watch every Christmas season. It did have its moments, definitely. Some of the kills I did really enjoy a lot. I'll have to give it my honest rating at a 6 out of 10.
Okay, so very different on all of us. It's like a little scale: 4, 5, 6, and 7.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I guess.
I hope we're not this high on the next one.
God,
I doubt it.
This next movie is like fucking 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Do you guys have any iced coffee?
Iced coffee.
Iced coffee.
Get my pun from Jack Frost too. Fine.
Ugh. Okay, so moving along into the sequel of Jack Frost, Jack Frost 2: Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman from the year 2000. So 3 years later, we get a sequel to Jack Frost. All right, so okay, I don't want to read about it, but the storyline. Oh, this is actually really funny. In the sequel of the first Jack Frost movie, Sheriff Sam Titler and his wife Anne and Sam's 2 deputies decide to go on a Caribbean vacation to take their minds off the traumatic events of the previous movie in a place with absolutely no snow. It's not a bad idea. Their holiday will be short-lived, however, as the thawed murderer gets inadvertently refrozen and brought back to life. As if that weren't bad enough, he now has the ability to remain frozen even in tropical temperatures, and he is headed south to settle more old scores.
Oh boy.
The fucking stupidest fucking premise for a movie ever. It's
I just want to know what's up with all these
stupid.
fucking... There's stock footage in this movie.
Is there?
I think like when they're like flying over the fucking pool with all the people laying at the pool. I think that's totally stock footage. Because we really don't see the pool again, do we?
No, I think there's
shot.
a couple scenes in there because they got the girl.
Oh yeah, the girl swimming.
Anybody else think this just film in general looks like shit?
It does.
This movie looks like a really, really shitty soap opera.
It looks like one of those films from that year that you'd find at Blockbuster.
It's like it's like a TV show where, like, say they took the thing. It's like a sitcom in the 90s. Like, say they took the show out of the house that they normally film in, and they went out to like the beach or something. That's what it looks like.
Literally, I have to say the commander is one of the most annoying fucking characters I've ever seen in my life. Like, literally,
I truly would have been.
He is
I would have been more convinced if they had like Nigel Thornberry from the Wild Thornberries as the guy. That guy bothered me so much.
Like, literally, like, I haven't hated a character in a long time compared to that.
I want to just know, if there was one word to describe this film, what would it be?
Could it be
your asshole?
Moodz?
One word?
Yeah.
I don't. Does this word count? Is that a word?
Yeah, that counts.
Like, as I'm shaking my head vigorously, man, it's like I'm shaking it so hard I might even break my own fucking head.
Yeah, you're shaking it so hard you're breaking up.
Jack Frost 2 doesn't want Moodz to talk about Jack Frost 2, so he's making his internet all shitty.
My word would be lame as fuck. That's my one word. Lame as fuck.
What about the fucking...
My word?
That actually is 3 words, but...
That's the
my
point.
word, it's 2 words, but Captain Fun.
I fucking lost my shit when the fucking chicks were at the bar and they're like, look behind their shoulder and those 2 douchey guys are like, what up?
That's like, all they say.
I was fucking pissing my pants.
This movie has fucking terrible everything.
Yeah, it screams like the year 2000.
Everything is so bad, man. Like, and just all the cliches and token. Like, of course, they got the token gay photographer and.
But he's Asian.
Asian
gay photographer.
This is about the time in in society and stuff where you had to have these type of characters and everything, right?
He didn't even act like that when he was taking the pictures.
Maybe a little bit.
Not compared to the first time we see him.
It's like, I don't think there's any ice left, but all of a sudden there's a fucking cooler filled with ice. You just said there's no ice left. Don't you think it's fucking suspicious that there's a fucking...
Dude, that scene is so fucking stupid. And they open up the cooler, and the ice starts going, pick me, pick me, pick me. Right? And then the one gets picked, he's like, yeah, come on, yeah. And I'm like,
wow.
The acting
he starts rubbing it on her fucking nipples, and dude, it's like
this is one of those rare occurrences where the acting was so bad it actually made me really angry.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that the ice like talks and stuff too, because you're not really sure if like, oh, are they just really dumb and can't hear it, or is it like just supposed to be like an audience thing, or is it just supposed to be like it makes like 0.0
Why the fuck are they talking?
Yeah.
And how the fuck did it fill up with ice all of a sudden when he just fucking said, I don't think we have any ice?
And then he's like, he's not like, oh, this is odd. I guess we had a ton of ice. Like,
but that kill though is fucking funny, man. When she eats that ice cube and her fucking head explodes. Shit, man, that made me laugh.
I did like the photographer kill.
Yeah, the photographer one. I just love when that chick's head explodes. It's fucking good.
I think the scene that not my most hated scene, but the one that kind of started it off for me was those 2 dudes on the raft in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, they're just like stuck out in the middle of the ocean.
And how does a carrot appear to go in the cooler?
Oh my god. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Well, all
it's
there is
more
is
than bad. It's
this
fucking
whole movie.
terrible.
This whole movie is just a fucking huge plot hole.
It doesn't even... There's maybe 2 points in the film that feel like Christmas, but that's it.
It's so stupid. It's literally
in the beginning.
It's literally a tropical island of, like, it's hot.
Well, yeah.
And he's a snowman.
It's the Caribbean.
He's
Captain Fun. Nothing can go wrong.
I just love the part when it starts snowing in the Caribbean and everyone's like not freaking out. They're just like, hey, snowball fight.
Yeah. The same guy did this one too, which is just crazy because it's such a decline.
You know what blows my mind is that they got back the original cast members.
Yeah.
Why did they ever decide to come back for this? Didn't they read the script and go, this might even be the most retarded thing I've ever read?
Yeah.
But they're like, no, I'm gonna come back and do this film. It's like everything about this movie is so bad. Even the puns are shitty in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're kind of funny, but they're shitty. But I just can't get over people's reaction. It's snowing in the Caribbean, and people are like not weirded out by this at all. They're just like, hey, snowball fight. I'm like,
the comedy literally misses every single beat.
Although I did laugh when Jack Frost throws a snowball at that dude and rips his arm off, and that huge explosion of blood.
What about her fucking head exploding after she eats an ice cube that's not Jack Frost?
We went through.
Oh yeah, I was fucking.
That part is so funny too. It's just fucking ridiculous, man.
It honestly, like, everything is just so lame to me. Like, all the funny moments are just like, like, just lame. I'm just like, this is so fucking lame.
They have stupid ass fucking jokes like Kawatunga and shit like that. It's like, what the fuck, man? Really?
But it's not even so bad. It's good. It's just lame as fuck.
This movie is actually so bad. It's beyond bad. Like, this movie is a chore to get through. For who the fuck thought it was a good idea to have a 93-minute shitfest like this?
Yeah.
Where do you come off 93 minutes of this bullshit?
We should just not let Moodz talk during the rest of the review. Every time you talk, it's like the worst sound ever.
Oh, yeah. This is one of those films that just kind of made me upset.
Steve, what did you like? Did you know what you was getting into when we told you these were what we was covered?
Yeah, I did see a little bit of the first Jack Frost. Never saw the sequel just because I just didn't. It didn't strike me that I needed to see it.
Well, maybe that was a good thing.
Yeah, I just watched it for this, and I guess the thing that kind of threw me off the most was seeing that the production value, and when I mean that, I'm talking about the camera they shot the film on, was like really, really consumer grade equipment.
I would rather watch 8 shot-on videos in a row than this garbage.
There was something that kind of said to me like,
wow, that's a bold statement.
Did they shoot this on some like new beta or something? And then I'm just kind of looking at it, I'm like, this is like the same camera they used like the Terratoon films on.
This one was also filmed in California. I can't believe this shit got made.
It had to some way.
It almost feels like they got everybody together for a reunion of some sort. Reunion, I have no idea why they do it for that film. But saying like, oh, we're here, why don't we just throw together another film? I got a bag. Let's go, guys. Let's make this happen. I got some extra snowballs. I got a shit ton of bananas. I got a little bottle of antifreeze. Let's go.
Yeah, straight up. That's exactly what happened. And it's funny because, one of the main plot points in this film is like over halfway through, it becomes a little creature film, which is just like, what?
Yeah, which makes no sense.
I'll be your dada.
Then he gets all mad when they fucking...
Can I kill Dada? Can you kill Dada?
Fucking snowy critters, man.
Yeah, like, they really did remind me of critters.
It reminded me of Gremlins, especially at the bar.
Yeah. I honestly, if they would have rolled with that from the very beginning and had a little bit higher budget, I might be down with little snowball.
I think that would have been a way more fun film than just having like little snowy critters, man.
Yeah.
The thing that kind of like
lighters and shit, I think that would have been so much more fun.
Yeah.
The thing about those snowballs that threw me off the most was how they introduced them with Jack just leaving out of nowhere. It even said in it, he's like, "I'll tell you how I did it. I did it by," and he leaves. And now we meet all the snowmen. Or the snow babies, snowballs, whoever you call them.
Fuck, man. When Jack Frost grows those big ice teeth, that is like the worst looking shit ever, too.
But it looked that shitty in Jack Frost 1, too, though.
I like the ice teeth in Jack Frost 1.
This just looks so bad the way it was. Oh, fuck.
Can you believe that Jack Frost actually looks worse?
Yeah, I know, right?
He looks way worse.
Oh, fuck, he looks awful in this. It's terrible, terrible.
I think he looks worse than the Scarecrow in Return to Oz.
Wouldn't this be an interesting, interview to actually interview this director and be like, what the hell happened in part 2?
You want me to reach out to him?
Like, I would like to actually hear it from his point of view.
I'm
like,
sure he's never talked about it.
Because this movie probably cost him, like, seriously, like $100. Like, Like what? Like there, it has the cheapest fucking sets I've ever seen.
Well, all you have to do is have a
You don't
fucking
see him
foam.
right in his backyard. Like
All you have to do is have a foam anvil fall on your head, and
Oh my god.
that fucking
foam
part
anvil.
makes no sense.
Missed again. Screw it. Here we go.
Fucking anvil.
Dude, I seriously.
oh, dude, the effects in this movie are so shitty. So
The
shitty.
Got
Like
some
CG
pretty bad
stuff
computer
and
generated.
CG in this, and like just the way they edited it and stuff is fucking terrible. It's like not even laughable. It's just so bad.
Like, I swear to God, guys, I was chatting with Moodz and the guys on Facebook, and I would have to pause the movie every like 2 minutes because I couldn't pay attention to it.
Oh my God, this movie is so hard. It's so painful to get through. I remember when I reviewed this film, and I was thinking to myself, going, this might even be one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life. So I had to go back and check out the rating. I'm like, how did I give it such a high rating? I gave it a 2.5.
What?
What is it rated at?
So,
It's crazy.
I mean, do you guys have anything else to say about this one? I personally don't.
Honestly, there's nothing redeemable. There's no good qualities about this film at all.
The only thing
Am I
that I
right?
will say about this film over something like Beneath the Mississippi is at least it like moves. Like it's a movie. Like
Yeah.
It
so
moves.
Like it doesn't have
That's it.
awful audio and stuff. At
yeah,
least
like the
audio's
audio
there.
yeah, you know, it's duct tape and spit wadded together, but it's a fucking at least it's a movie. If you want to call it that.
A movie.
There's moving images with stuff happening is what I'm saying, and there's audio that goes along with those moving images.
Although this, like I said, this movie is just one giant plot hole.
Oh, wait,
Like,
is this-
there's just, it makes no fucking sense
Is this
at all.
movie gonna be worse than The Entity?
Probably.
Not
I
The
can't
Entity,
imagine
just
what a
Entity.
total rating is going to be on this, but
Well, I'll tell you right now, the Entity I rated higher than it deserved. I'll admit that.
yeah.
Moodz was way more appropriate on the Entity rating. He gave it a solid 1 out of 10. Jeremy gave it a 2.5.
So, which is crazy that you would give that 2.5. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
Well, here's one question.
Hey, man, sometimes our ratings get a little higher than they should be. Dark Hall, right? For instance. I mean, it happens to us, right, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Mutantis.
Oh god. Well, here's a question. Do you think by the ending they were trying to set up another sequel?
They were supposed to make another sequel, but the sheriff died, so they didn't make another one.
Oh my
Oh, really?
God.
Yeah.
It would have had to have been better because it couldn't have been worse.
They were going to set it up. They definitely set that up to have another sequel.
They were going
So he
to.
just opted out and not making a third one because one of the main actors died. I mean,
Yeah.
we all know that it happens quite regularly in sequels where they don't have returning cast members. So
Yeah, but he's like the main fucking character.
I guess, but you know, you could have found
Would somebody else play Charles Lee Ray?
maybe it just wasn't the charm. You know, like you just need that guy. That's what the director thought. So who knows?
Well, that might be a good thing.
The guy who voices Jack Frost has done like a bunch of good stuff though.
Yeah,
Like he was in Fire in the Sky and Jarhead and fucking
I didn't like
mainstream ass
the voice
movies.
in this one. I didn't really like the voice in this one that much.
It's the same guy.
I know, but it just sound. I don't
Yeah,
know, it
I'm
sounds
with you. It wasn't as like hardcore.
Yeah, there was something different about it, right? I thought it was so strange that it just didn't have that evil charm as the
Yeah,
first one had.
yeah.
However you want to call
Nothing
it.
had charm in this one. It's so bad.
The one
I
thing
would
about this
love
movie
to
that I
talk to
always
this guy, man.
that I always think about after I watch it is how bad the effects are in this film. Like, I don't know, man. The scene where they have the little snowy critter in the blender.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Like
dude!
those
I just
shitty-
like I actually, you know, like when someone says something stupid or is doing something real stupid in real life, you kind of feel embarrassed for them. That's how I get in certain parts of this film. I feel embarrassed
It's like
that I'm watching it.
it's like
I
Jack
get
Frost
that
goes
type-
Hawaiian or something.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible, man.
Ratings?
Ratings. Yeah.
Okay. I will go first, I guess. One of the things about this film is it is like you can watch it. Like it's a film that can be watched. Should it be watched? Hell to the no. It's definitely not worse than Beneath the Mississippi, which is a 0.5 out of 10, but it's not much. It's actually a lot better, but it's still not good at all in any way, shape, or form. I give it a 1 out of 10.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
give it a 1 out of 10 too.
Yeah. Like I said, I went back and checked out my other rating. It was 2.5, and I literally like turned off my video and went, "You're a fucking moron. What the hell did you give that shit a 2.5 for, fucking idiot reviewer?" Yeah, I'm going with a 1 too. 1 out of 10. This movie is a bona fide piece of shit.
Okay, so
it is fucking terrible. Nothing redeemable about this, and I'm only giving it a 1 because the audio is there. It's decent, and I can respect that.
Steve,
giving my back.
What is your rating?
I will give it a 1.5, and that half goes to Captain Fun.
Okay, so I will say, guys, we have this thing called the Hall of Pain, and in order to get into the Hall of Pain, you have to be under, what was it, Moodz? 9 and under?
9.5.
9.5 and under.
This gets in with 4 people.
This gets in with 4 people. It gets in with just the 3 of us, which is what actually would make it go in with a 3 out of just a combined rating of 3 with all 3 of us giving it once, and 3 out of 30, and then even with Steve added on with a 1.5, it still only has a 4.5. And you know what's
still unrecommendable?
Our lowest rated film that is in the Hall of Pain is The Entity with a combined rating of 4.5. So
it's worse than The Entity.
So Jesus Christ. I mean,
So technically, this is actually the biggest piece of shit that we've reviewed so far.
It is.
Out of all the films that we've talked about.
This is the worst film out of probably 2,000 films that we've talked. This is the lowest rated film we've ever done.
Yeah. So
thank you, Jeremy, for the fucking, the torture again.
I've never seen these movies, so I wanted to watch
You know what's funny? I thought I had recommended this show, but apparently it was Jeremy, I guess.
That was me.
Yeah,
me all the way, because I really wanted to watch these.
You remember, I don't know if you guys remember when we were talking about what we're going to do and stuff, and Jeremy said Jack Frost 1 and 2, and I kind of snickered. I was like, I just didn't want to watch Jack Frost 2, but I wasn't gonna argue. I know you guys hadn't seen him, so I was like, whatever, we'll do him.
Yeah, well, honestly,
you guys are gonna have to sit through the torture, man.
Yeah, Moodz is like a
but it was worth it.
He's like, he just wants us to sit through the torture, and it gives him pleasure. Even if he has to put it through it himself. Yeah, but he would rather do that just to have us watch it.
The funny thing is, I was watching this movie yesterday at the same time you were. The thing is, I was about 40 minutes ahead of you.
And he was like, "You poor bastard."
I know. It's like, oh my god.
But so we actually currently have 11 films in the Hall of Fame. So we was kind of needing another one in the Hall of Pain here. So that brings our total up to 9 films in the Hall of Pain. And we have officially inducted Jack Frost to the Revenge of the Killer Mutant Snowman, or whatever the fuck it's called. Mutant Killer Snowman from the year 2000 into the glorious Hall of Pain, joining a couple of Children of the Corn sequels, 1 Silent Night, Deadly Night sequel, 1 Jaws sequel, 1 Warlock sequel, 1 Halloween sequel, and 2 of the Fangoria Fright Fest films.
Fucking sequels, and Fangoria shitfest.
Yeah, so that is funny. Honestly, I would rather watch any of those films other than this.
Even fucking Children of the Corn 6.
Oh yeah, I've watched Children of the Corn 6 a handful of times in my life, and I could watch it.
Uh-huh.
I'd rather watch that 1 Halloween film than watch this again.
Ooh.
This film is so bad, man. I mean, it's fun. I can't believe it's double billed with Ice Cream Man. I need to just cut the paper and just like make it the whole release Ice Cream Man.
I'm positive that someone even commented on my video saying, "Oh man, it's not that bad." Who was this person? Yeah, it is. This movie's fucking terrible.
It's literally every aspect of it is lame, and that's my favorite word for this film. It's just lame. It misses all the comedy beats. It has nothing going for it other than being like there's audio. This film has audio, is what the only positive review you can possibly give to it.
It's true, man. It's true.
Oh man.
Really bad soap opera.
So that's well, one thing is there's not very many like franchisey or even like sequel Christmas films for next year, so we might actually have to review something good and just do like Don't Open Till Christmas or fucking.
The funny thing was, I was gonna mention like Santa's Sleigh and like a couple other ones, for this, but you wanted to do Jack Frost 1 and 2, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, fuck
whatever.
Those assholes. I'll make them sit through it.
Santa Slay would be a fun one to talk about. That movie has one of the funniest opening sequences.
Yeah. I've
Has
talked
anyone
about
seen
it
it?
on this show before. I actually
Fucking
rated it on this
opening
show.
scene in that film is funny as hell, man. It's great. So
Yeah, for sure. I reviewed that back on episode 3.
really,
Yeah.
wow. Cool. All right, is that it?
Yeah, that's it, man.
Are we done, man? We're done for episode 67, the 3rd annual Christmas special. Hope you guys enjoyed the shit bashing of Jack Frost 2 and the entire podcast. I want to thank Steve for making his debut on the show. Thank you, Steve, for stopping by.
Well, thanks a lot for having me, man.
Yeah, man. Anytime. I was glad to finally get you on the show.
I hope you come out of the closet sooner or later, because it seems like you've been in there the entire show. So.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, he was in the closet with you, Jeremy. What were you guys doing?
I think he was in the closet with somebody that has the initials of JPR.
Oh, no. Okay.
I hope he's showing you all.
Shows aren't complete unless Jeremy's calling out somebody, right?
I hope he's showing you his Blu-ray and DVD covers.
Yeah, I was kind of
Name
expecting
dropping.
something like that to happen, but obviously I'm a person that could take a joke, so.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. Yeah, so once again, Steve, thanks for stopping by anytime.
Anyway.
And yeah, Jeremy, you want to fucking roll us on out of here?
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 66 of the 22.
7.
Dude, what the fuck, man?
Dude, I said 67 like how many fucking times?
Jeremy's a fucking retard.
Hey, JP,
You
why don't you go
are
on
retarded.
Podomatic and see that you fucking listed Stung as episode 65, you fucking idiot.
Dude, what is wrong with your ass?
Look,
He said it 6 times.
Go on fucking Podomatic
It's
and
a
look.
typo, Jeremy. I'm already aware of it.
Why the fuck didn't you fix it?
Because we're leaving
He was too busy
Podomatic.
watching Jack Frost
And
1
that.
and 2. Man.
All right.
You're just dumb.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to episode
God, you're an idiot.
67.
You ruined the show.
On the
Fucking
22 Shots
done.
of Moodz and Horror podcast. As well as you can follow the man Moodz himself at youtube.com/Moodz616. Moodz 616.
Take the penis out of your mouth before you talk.
AKA the man who hates Pee Wee Herman at youtube.com/doubleshot.
And the dreidel out of his bumhole.
And as always, you can follow Steve over on his channel at youtube.com/ShockExtreme1. As always, you can follow me on my channel, youtube.com/NESRuler22. And if you have any questions, you can leave us a voicemail at 724-426-6665. You can always follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/22shotspodcast. And you can always follow us on Facebook at the Facebook page, facebook.com, search bar 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror Podcast. And if you have any questions, you can email us at the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror at gmail.com. That's 22 Shots of Moods and the Horror at gmail.com. And as always, guys, please get your lists in for the top 10 show that will be coming up on January 7th. 8th, January 8th.
Dude.
January 8th.
Oh, what a surprise. You fucked up again.
You're on a roll, bud.
He's so stupid that that's not even the date anyway. The 8th is wrong, too. That's when we record it, dumbass. The show posts on Monday.
Dude, I think he just broke him. He's not even saying anything. He's so mad that he's not saying anything.
He's just leaning back.
Ever. Jeremy, what's our show after that?
Jeremy's not going to be there anymore, so it doesn't matter.
Man, he doesn't even know. He don't even know.
The next scheduled show is going to be the 2015.
Yeah, I know that,
year-end
but I thought you
review
meant the show after.
I did mean the show after.
The show after this one, episode 68, is the 2015 year-end show.
I said get your top 10s list, assholes. So of course I fucking know it.
Oh, God. We're supposed to interpret that, you know?
Oh, fuck you.
Just when you think he can't possibly get any dumber, he does.
Exactly. This kid has 4 years of college?
This year, oh, Jesus Christ.
All right, man. We're the fuck out of here.